We'll call this meeting of City of Alpine Hotel Occupancy Tax Committee to order at 5:35 p.m. Noted that. Next. Are there any public comments?
Yeah.
Okay. Lisa.
There's a few new faces that were here last
Okay.
week. My name is Lisa Nix, Ward 2. I represent the Alpine Gem and Mineral Show. Our event was held the weekend after the grant applications were turned in. And so I wanted to give you an update on our attendance. We had over 2,000 people attend our event this year. And we estimated over 50% were from out of town, out of the Tri-County area.
There's a lot of people.
It was a really awesome event, and thanks to a lot of help from you guys. I wanted to just be here to make sure you guys were aware that we're really pushing to make the Gem Show bigger and better. We took it over a couple years ago and getting our feet in the ground. This next year, pending hot tax money and other money we raise, we want to move the event downtown even more than last year. Last year we did 5th Street Gallery. So we're hoping to be able to incorporate whatever businesses in the core of downtown that want to participate with us, you know, and try to push our 2,000 people further and spend more money, right?
Right,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, once we're in the discussion, then you can do it. That's it. We can do anything we want. We have no public hearings for this meeting, but we do have minutes from last week's meeting, which you guys would take a glance at that, and I would entertain a motion to accept them. We
Where are
have-
those?
It's page 4 and 5.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have a second? Second. Okay.
Second.
Thank you, John. Glad you were here.
Is there any discussion or just y'all want more time to look at them?
Done.
Everything, okay. Then we'll vote. All in favor of accepting the minutes, please say aye. Opposed? Yeah. Then we will move on to discussion items, of which there is one, which is what it comes down to is we need to take this list of, make sure I've got the right amounts here. $590,000 in request. And we need to come up with a recommendation of $368,000 for council. Yes, okay. So there are many ways we could go about this. What it really comes down to is I'll be moving around on the screen, but you guys can't see the screen. So we're really looking at page 8 of the packet that shows this shows all the requests. There were a few that were missing that time. There is under Lone Star Cowboy Poetry Gathering, there are $3,000 under transportation that not reflected here.
Transportation.
Yeah. They've done that every year. Okay. And then I'll try and keep out for any other discrepancies. I think there was one other, possibly GeoFest. They had
They did have some transportation.
no, this one is corrected. The GeoFest or the Lone Star? I'm not sure. They've got historical promotion of the arts. But that is our challenge. Now, one tool that we have is the score sheet, but the score sheet should include all of your thoughts, and it doesn't. It includes 3 of your thoughts, and so at no time do I ever suggest that the score, even when it's everybody discussing, be definitive. It's a tool to help you guys make your best decision about what is the strategic best use of the hot money amongst the applications that we have for the city's hotel industry. That's our job. In this case, if hopefully you guys were able to hear some of the discussion on the YouTube so that you could have your own thoughts as to roughly how you would have scored so that you can incorporate those things in our discussion tonight. And so I'm just really want to stress that we have some high numbers and some low numbers, but they might have been very different had the whole committee been.
I do have a question for you.
Yes, please.
Under historical, is there like $20,350 that can't be allocated because there's not that many people asking for historical funds?
Good point.
No, that's a maximum, but not a requirement. If, you know, it's not like there's a carve out of 15% that has to be there, if I'm answering
Okay.
your question right. It's
Yes.
really just that the council are not legally allowed to spend more than that. But
Okay,
it's not like,
so it's not unallocated.
yeah, it's not baked in as historical money, but just the council has that option if they choose, but we can't go over. And same with music, which Rachel, you may or may not be aware of, historical and promotion of the arts, which is mostly live music requests. Those, we have a max on them of the collections for each year, and so that's where you don't have that paid. I did email it, but
I think I have it.
right after the meeting, yeah, my spreadsheet, it shows that maximum amount. And so when we're looking at historical restoration, we have $20,000, $20,350 per request, and we have up to 88,000 that we could account for. So that's no problem. Now on promotion of the arts, we have a maximum of $78,750 available. And we have $147,200 in requests. So that's one we by law have to cut dramatically. So, and then the rest is however you guys see fit as to the best strategic use of the money to get to the 368 number. Now, Joanna had suggested last time that we score the new ones first as unknown quantities and really give them some thought right out of the gate, which we did, and we think it went well. She also suggested that we look at the new ones first here, but I'm open to a procedure. We could also go through in order of pieces.
You have
of paper
6
here.
new ones?
Yeah, let me double check.
Go to the new ones based on how they score.
Ah,
Take the
okay.
Another one, right?
So the new ones are the Mountain Country Christmas, which scored 75. Skelton's Runway scored 48. Big Ben American Legion Post 79. Motorcycle Rally scored 95. Sil Ross Athletics scored 16. Big Bend Natural History Association Pioneer Reunion for 87. Family Crisis Center Dance for 44. The GeoFest 76. Ross Athletic Benefit was 88. And Archives of the Big Bend Border Archives Bazaar was 65.
You said, and the Theater of the Big Band was how much?
It,
Wasn't that a new one?
no, Theater of the
No.
Big Bend has been there a long time.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had more to say.
Archives, Athletic Benefit, GeoFest, the Mother's Day Dance, Pioneer Reunion,
The concert, that's why I'm getting confused with that one.
yeah. So lots of-
Copy of this one?
How about that? That's a good idea. Another
Can you make us some more, a copy of this one?
Rachel, thank you for printing those out.
Rachel Devon.
Oh, the,
Yeah.
And so, let's start at the top and have a brief discussion about these. So the highest one was American Legion Motorcycle Rally. It, of the folks who were present last week,
Of the new ones you said?
yeah, that's
Okay.
the,
Right.
American Legion Motorcycle Rally.
Okay.
They felt, that it was a good market that is relatively under addressed. That I like that it's a baked in market. It's an existing group. It's like bringing a conference, but just bringing a conference of motorcycle riders. It has a opportunity to build on. And so there's not particularly an action here, except you keep it in mind as we're looking forward about whether to reduce their request or not. Now, they're asking for $7,500. But does anybody have thoughts about that at this moment, about that particular event?
I do, if you have a second. I think it's has great potential for the future, and gosh, they're not asking for much.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so it sounds like for now, we'll leave that number as it is.
Just another thought, it's not an event that'll come back every year.
That is true.
It's like this one was given to Alpine 2 years out. So
But it could create a spin-off going forward for something else, because it could bring the bikers back to the area that we've kind of lost at this
Yeah.
point. Here, the Crystal Bar used to have one, right?
They did run it for about 3 years. And I think it's possible, it'll be interesting to see what the leadership of the Legion is like going forward, what their interest is. Because the guy who put this in this application, it's like if he if he has the authority going forward to try and put something together like this, again, that in my.
That was what I was thinking, it could create enough interest if we get, because I know people are gonna show for it, it's gonna be phenomenal. And when that happens, that means it usually creates interest for somebody else to do it again.
Absolutely.
Hey, Chris.
Yes. Somebody else next year.
Hi, it's Kirsten. I'm sorry, I'm here from above. And I just wanted to say about that even if there's no official spin-off event that comes out of it, I think just bringing those guys and women, I'm sure, out, some of them may not have been introduced to the area before, will probably, engender continued tourism from them, even if it's not with an event, because it is such a good place to ride, right?
I agree, yes.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So then moving forward, in the order that Joanna suggested, the next one at 88 would be the Soros Athletic Benefit Concert. This is an event that, as we discussed last week, this would be the 3rd year. It's an event that's done very well to bring in money and moderately to modestly well to actually bring in people to the concerts. And so their goal here is to build up that side, because they sell lots of sponsorships and lots of high dollar tables, and they make their money for the school, but they're also doing a concert. And so they're asking for $7,500 in advertising. And only in advertising, which actually helps us, because usually music folks ask for music money. We don't have so much of that. So does anybody have any thoughts or comments about that one? It's also a fairly modest request. Okay. Then
The advertising, let me ask this real quick, so they're wanting to do the advertising because they need to fill, this is what we talked about last
yeah, well,
meeting.
this is actually a nice thing, and to me, it's in some ways a generous thing that they don't actually need to sell more tickets than they do, because they're
They
making.
just need to fill the auditorium.
They're thinking they can fill the auditorium, and that's gonna bring more benefit to the community, because they're getting the benefit already in the sponsorships and
The big
table,
games and
you
stuff
know,
like that.
selling the tables and stuff. So they're making the money that the sports athletic program wants to make. They can make more if they sell more tickets, but they also will benefit the hotel industry and the communities.
Exactly.
Economy. So they're saying, hey, if you guys give us a little advertising money, we'll try and do that. Yeah,
Makes sense.
that probably would just be the same.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes. So there's that one. Any other comments on that one? Then moving to the Pioneer Reunion, this will be the second year. That one will be held in Alpine. Last year was the first year, and it was one of their best turnouts in a long time, if not ever, because they had a bigger room to fill, and it did fill. So they're hoping to grow that, and they're asking for. Let's find out this sheet. They're asking for $9,000, $3,000 for advertising, $6,000 for historic, and that would be for program. That would be cost for bringing speakers and travel expenses and things like that. Possibly printing the program, that sort of thing. Does anybody have comments or questions at all about that?
On a side topic, what is the total that we have available to fund the advertising category?
Well, it is.
There's no max.
It's
on that.
368. You know,
Oh.
you could zero out everything else and devote all of it to advertising if you thought that was the best thing. But there's no requirements on that.
Okay.
Yeah, the deal for advertising is we have a minimum of 50% of collections that we have to spend on advertising, but you're not the only ones worrying about that. I generally advise applicants to ask for advertising money because we need to spend it, but there is also a general promotions budget that I administer to help us meet that. So, yeah, there's no requirement either way. Let's see, so that was Pioneer Reunion in '87. And then we have the Border Archives Bazaar at 65. No, wait, GeoFest is 76. So GeoFest is next. This is the second year coming up that they're asking for money. It's out of Sul Ross. It's the geology department. Let's see, it is in the middle of spring break, so there's already a pretty high ceiling of visitation. Will they bring more is a question. So strategically, the timing's not ideal for bringing new heads in to our beds. They are asking for $4,444 in advertising, $1,200 promotion of the arts, which would be for music, and $3,250 historical restoration, which I'm imagining is for a program. For a total of $8,894.
Historical restoration.
The historical category, we allow that to be used for things that encourage the learning of history as well. And so,
Okay.
so that's likely for content, speakers and things like that.
How much?
And that was 3,250 for historical, the total is 8,894.
What did they do this last time? What did we give them? This
We didn't
second
give
time?
them any, they did their
It's a
first
new
one on their own.
category.
Anybody have?
Are these numbers
I just-
on here most reflective, or is it in because the application says 10,000
That's an error.
Okay.
So this,
This is
let me
most
say-
accurate.
what you're looking at is the result of me going through the applications and what I'm looking at is that page where they break it out by category. And when I did the math, it came out 2,000 under, so I'm not sure
Okay.
what they thought they were asking for that they didn't put on the other page.
I'm just struggling a little bit with it because to me it got lost. I mean, I didn't even know we were having one in the area. So, and it's in the middle of spring break, as you mentioned. So I
Or
don't,
did they say the attendance was last year? Or did they say in their
Great
application?
question.
it really wasn't very much that I.
It was the whole day. I was there for a good portion of the afternoon doing music. And it wasn't packed. There was a fairly steady flow of folks, but it wasn't a big crowd. Most of their advertising was the sandwich signs on at this stop sign, the stoplights.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that's where our $4,000 will go a long way. for Letting people know about it.
Well, I mean, I guess I could see that and then back up, maybe if they increase their attendance, then
Exactly.
maybe next time give them some historical money, if you know what I mean. Let's get the cart before the horse.
Were you guys
They
remind me what
expect two
they're
hundred to 300 people.
suggesting for the promotion of the arts? What are they gonna use that on?
For music. They had live music through the afternoon, and that was like,
Like
this last
multiple
year,
bands, right?
yeah, basically me and Tony Perry asked about people to play and did,
And then you guys do advertising as well, right?
yes, we did. For the list.
Well, I think if I was gonna cut a little bit off of one, this might be the first one.
Okay,
Do that.
Yeah.
well,
For advertising.
Yes, ma'am.
so you want to do less, reduce their advertising?
Yeah, when we get to like cutting, I think that
Well,
they
I
don't
think
that much.
we can be cutting anytime, there's lots to cut.
Yeah, but I think promotion of the arts is important for them to
Mhm.
pay for, so it's not out of pocket, but advertising doesn't cost that much to do what they're trying to do. And then also all those bands should be advertising for them as well.
If, things go as one would hope.
Yeah.
What would you suggest instead of 4,444?
I don't know that I would offer more than 500 for advertising. Personally, for that event.
We only had 117 total that came this
It
last
came
year.
last year.
And 54 were Alpine, 39 were non-Alpine, and 24 were no residency. So
And if we
let's-
gave them 500, then I basically would advise them on
Using
putting
it for
that money on Meta,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hitting Midland, Odessa, basically.
They only did signs on the corner.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Last year they did. Did that number feel right to everybody? Is anybody?
Yeah, no, it's, I
Okay.
think that's good.
What about the historical? You wanna leave that alone?
No, I kind of wonder about that because they need to get their attendance up. I'm gonna take that to 1250. On historical restoration.
The goal of this program is to drive up more students for the geology program at Sol
Yeah, I
Ross.
think it's their fundraising and recruiting both.
And Sol Ross is like known for its
Yes.
geology program.
Yes.
They're encouraging
And
the
this entire area
museum.
is like a hub for being natural, the dark skies and the rocks and everything. Yes, I think that's really important for the historical preservation of that university. As it is known for that.
Very true. And how does that affect your thinking on that particular line item?
Can you explain to us where that 3,200 goes towards?
I can't tell you exactly, but I'm presuming.
They're only
to their-
paying the museum 300 for that.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
presuming they're going, it's for program, like they had some speakers,
it should be written in there.
yeah, it should.
Yeah, it
Request.
is.
And I need to find it.
It's page
But they
around
can-
351.
But they can use it for these speakers, right? To promote that
Yes.
program while people are there. It's not advertising at all.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's pretty important for that program.
I'm not.
Although it sounds pretty expensive. I mean, most geology guys don't require thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's true.
Finding thousands of
Okay.
expenses and.
Oh, there, it's a
Geology.
reception. They're holding a reception. Now they are expanding it.
That's
It
not
was one
historical.
afternoon and they're expanding it to 2 days in and evening, like a full weekend.
Oh,
But yeah, so it looks like they're looking for cost for reception, and that is a stretch. I don't see a strong
Yeah,
tie.
that's, I remember you talking about
Yeah.
that last meeting.
Can't they use the university somewhere for the reception? They don't need to rent a building, do they?
Well, it's at the university, which has that rental is only $300, but
they're
then,
wanting to pay for the catering.
yeah.
The caterer is 1,500.
And so, yeah, I would suggest that's not a tight fit for that category.
I would start off taking it down to about 1250.
But to
And we may
confirm,
take
that's
it-
not paying for speakers, it's
No.
just for.
That's what it looks like,
Through.
and that's something where that would be, I would have a discussion with them about exactly what they were doing, and I wouldn't approve the
Yeah.
expenditure.
It's possible they could get,
Now-
sponsors to be catered for the food, you know, a write-off.
If when I spoke to them, they said that a key part of that reception was program, and that program focused on history in these ways,
Yeah.
at that point, I would say, oh, well, yeah, that's fine, because we're, even the catering is supporting the delivery of that historical information. We don't see that on the paper here, so I can't
That's
say
an
that that's true.
We don't
Yeah.
know that's for
How
sure.
much does, printing a really nice program cost, typically, do you know?
It wouldn't cost that much, because if you're printing them for in-house, for the folks who are in the room, you're printing maybe 150 of them or something like that.
So it's not like a laminated, beautiful piece of hard paper,
But I wouldn't think they would.
like a
they would be
college,
Doing that, yeah,
college stuff.
yeah. So it's an open question if that line item stays there, or if at all, or if you guys wanna put them in a lower rate.
I wrote for 500 or 750 maybe for that.
I would have taken it to 1250, but I'll go 750.
Everybody okay with that for now?
Or historic.
Yes. Okay,
I just know we're gonna have to come back to it,
yeah,
might as
and,
well just do it.
yeah,
and a lot of
What's
these,
gonna happen.
Exactly.
you guys have done this before, now we wind up.
At the end, we go
Yeah.
back.
Okay, so that was GFS, and then I believe we're at for the archives conference, which got a 65. They're
That
at,
one just baffles.
well, it's an academic conference, which definitely do bring people. And they're looking for 1,200 in advertising, 1,100 in historical, which their program is completely historical, and 100 in transportation.
Oh,
But they're-
100.
I've seen some really beautiful posters be put out by the Museum of the Big Bend and some of those people over there. And I know they cost a lot of money. I feel like 1,200 is really low ask.
Yeah, the
What kind of
whole,
work they
their
produce.
complete application is $2,400, so.
So let me ask you, can you just said 100 for transportation on that?
Mhm.
It's not on here.
It's not on that sheet.
It's on the new one with the yellow.
It's on the,
Wait. Maybe I'm looking
Yeah.
at the wrong sheet.
No, you're right, that's the other one. Because the one that came in our packet, so this guy with the highlights,
Yeah.
it's the one that has all the numbers. in it. This is the one I went through them all, and this was kind of the first pass secretary's office,
Okay, thank you.
yes.
so this is their 10th annual?
It's the 10th annual because it's the like regional club, whatever, archivists, and so they're bringing, similar to the motorcycle rally, this is something, it happens every year in different places.
Oh.
She's invited and arranged for them to host it in Alpine,
Mhm.
and she's asking for assistance in doing that, and then in bringing more people with the $1,200 in advertising.
Do you think that this historical restoration money is help pay for like setup and stuff like that, or is it
Yeah.
actually?
Well,
being-
I think it's with the program, let's see if they say, I don't know for sure, but basically. For an archivist conference, almost anything would fit, be legal.
No, for
because
sure,
so-
like it's definitely supportive, I
Yeah.
was just wondering.
Yeah, no, that's a question and I don't have an answer yet. Let's see, sort of the archive, see what she says.
I've never been in Soul Rest archives.
Looks like. Some of that at least would be for what is that historic money in here?
So awesome. They haven't fiberized.
I put it on there, look.
And the question,
Branch names and time periods and. Yeah, there's just a good bunch of file cabinets. All the like itemized stuff.
So, and they don't specifically say, but they go into some detail about kind of the materials that they're giving the attendees
Yeah.
that might be keepsake kind of things. And so that's kind of like this on the swag side, which is not a strong historical, but the whole, since I would argue that since the whole event is so purely about that,
Yeah.
that almost anything we give them, since the money's fungible, it applies to any part of their budget.
Right. I'd be willing just to leave it for now.
Okay.
We may have to come back to it.
Yeah, I feel like their ask is really modest.
And that was the archives. Dollar. And then I believe, wait, we skipped Mountain Country Christmas Day, we're at 75. And they are looking for 1,200 for advertising. This is an event that's happened a long time, though not always by this group.
Yeah, I noticed just by the Alpine Humane Society this time.
I think they did it last year, and this is their second year, and they're asking basically for help to build attendance.
Now, correct me if we didn't discuss this last week. Heather brought up the point that the weekend that they have it has typically been on Mother's Day in the past.
Well,
or
It's
something
the
like that.
first weekend in December.
Okay, first weekend in December.
Oh.
But
You're
it is-
talking about the Family Crisis Center, that's.
Oh, right, yeah, I
that's what I'm
jumped,
getting confused
oh, I
with.
jumped up to Mountain Country Christmas.
No, yeah, I know, but I think I'm getting that one confused. Yeah. Okay.
It's around the same time as the Christmas walk or something.
Yeah, which which I don't know if they're gonna continue or not. They didn't ask for money last year, and they barely had it last year. They did have it. They just didn't ask for money.
Did they specify in their plan who their niche market is for that? Since most families are still in school out of town.
Really.
I didn't hear you. I was wondering if they specified who their niche market was,
Oh.
since most families are still in school that week. I'm just wondering like if they kind of specified who they're trying to bring in for that weekend. It's like one of the slowest weekends for hotels here.
And this past year, it wasn't very well attended,
I can
and there
imagine.
weren't as many vendors.
It's traditionally a very slow time for hotels.
And yeah,
Those
initially,
commercials.
many years ago, it was very well attended, vendors outside and inside, but not
Oh.
this year.
And that first weekend in December, it's like Fiesta de Noche Buenas and Marathon every year.
Marathon.
And it was also like when
Were
Christmas.
they at
and
the same
Alpine
time?
events.
Or like
Not
staggered,
exactly. Mountain Country Christmas extends wide.
so you could go to both.
You could easily go to both.
Yeah, the one marathon is in the evening that day.
Oh, nice.
And the Mountain Country Christmas is 2 days. It's Friday evening, Friday afternoon, evening, and then all day, and then evening Saturday.
But I believe our gallery takes a lot away from it because vendors come to the art gallery, art walk.
Mhm.
And of course they want to return again
Right.
later.
Have to stay. Do we know what page that is? I just wanted to see.
It's the very first one,
first
so it
I'm on it
starts on
already.
page 9. Yeah.
That one cute.
I mean, my personal thinking, and I have voiced a vote,
Oh, it does say they want to reach this region. Right, I think that's pretty smart because someone could just come for the weekend. Right after Thanksgiving, it's like
Yeah.
local in town.
yeah, I mean, I would push them to Midland, Odessa is our biggest weekend market. And so I personally would be very happy for them to get $1,200 to boost that weekend.
Not much money, is it?
It is not.
No.
No, but it's.
Does anybody have any specific thoughts or recommendations on that right now?
No, I think it's good.
Okay. Then, next one would be the Family Crisis Center Mother's Day Dance.
That's what I'm getting. the
Yes.
Mother's Day deal.
And that is graduation a week. Yeah, which it traditionally has been, and that is something that, this
Mother's
is,
Day? His graduation? Oh, Sol Ross,
Sol
okay,
Ross.
sorry.
so this is the Family Crisis Center benefit. They have gotten federal money for when they've had it and when they've asked, because they skipped a year. They are looking to take advantage of the audience that's already here for graduation. So it's not baked in as a strong bringer in of new people. We've largely supported it as a community effort. Now, is that strategic? Not particularly, but historically, that is what we have done. And it's for you guys to say how you want to handle it, but that's the history.
I think dances in small towns are so quintessential. I think it builds up the entire area. But I'm just wondering about the promotion of the arts amount they're asking for. I'm trying to.
Yeah, and that's the band. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's for them.
Expensive band, right?
It is. They usually, I think they've had Craig Carter
He doesn't charge that much.
before. They've had
I thought he only charged 1,000 or 1,200 at least,
that's fine.
especially when it's for
Benefit.
That's true.
a benefit.
Let's see.
Like when he played for the Fireman's Ball in Cholingua, I think he did it for like 800 or something. And is that?
Oh, yeah, and it's probably, let's see if they say, they're on page 255. We hire a band. Band 3,500. So that is that's totally valid, and you can
Drop it down to 1,500
and they could still afford Craig Carter.
I wish, I wish Rhonda would have specified
Yeah,
who.
Maybe they're hoping to upgrade the band if they
Yeah,
can get more
if
money
they can
for
get
it,
some.
and get something to get someone better in. That's probably their thing.
Well, they need to advertise better, $500 is all they're asking for.
yeah, and that in past years, I've run Facebook, Instagram ads for them for a while. And just manage that budget. That's how they done it. I don't know what their plan is this year.
I just don't see a lot of heads and beds for this specific event.
Yeah, you're.
Because they're already here for call or for graduation, they'll have their plans Saturday night. I don't know, taking your mom to dance when you graduated is like
What you
on the
really
first
wanna
thing
do,
you're
right?
thinking
Yeah,
about. So for me, from the Talia perspective, I wouldn't do that much for sure. And they say like 400 people expected attendance.
In town.
That's, yeah,
That's a lot.
Where
that's
are
a
you
lot of
gonna
people.
It's gonna be at
The
the
Crystal
old
Bar.
Crystal Bar.
Oh,
with the
okay.
Sunshine House is
400
fixing up.
people there.
That's what they're saying,
Either that
expected.
They're allowed to have that many with the fire.
That's a great question. I don't know what the capacity
It
is.
could be, but. what
The
time
answer is yes.
it?
The outdoor and the indoor, they have the authority to do it.
Indoor,
Yeah,
outdoor.
Rick's the one working the
The
project.
outdoor would open it up for
Yeah.
more.
Oh, yeah, it would be, yeah.
And only
This
8 to
victim's
midnight. It's a small window too to.
Maybe if they did it in conjunction with the background.
Well, now you know the Legion's gonna be
Yeah,
rocking in there.
there's gonna be.
So what do you guys want to do then for,
So you take the promotion down to 1,500 for now. And that's where I'm at.
I'm doing it on the spreadsheet. Everybody feel free to speak up. Something different. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Rhonda.
Well,
Like that.
Rhonda knows that we all love her. Let's see, so what others are there even others? Then there's. So that the only other one, the Soros Athletics event. This one scored very poorly.
Sorry, which one are we on?
This is the
Solar.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
SR Athletics event.
There was nothing specific in there as an event. It was more of a blanket request.
Yeah.
And my thinking is they should have budgets for those already assigned.
This concert is a fundraiser concert, whereas
I wouldn't call it a
so let's be clear about what
Yes,
exactly.
that's what I think it is. But she also mentioned, if you read it, something to the effect of paying the referees, and I'm like, that's already in your budget. Why would you want grant money to pay the referees?
Well, and so the argument is Sul Ross Athletics have the potential, and then she's saying they bring in people for all of these different games in all of these different sports. And they're making the case, making the argument that hotel money to support these events, because sporting events, if a significant percentage of the attendees come from out of town, then hotel tax money can be used, just like with historical, for any aspect of a sporting event that fits that category. So they're making the argument that Sul Ross college athletics, all the different sports, do bring in people. So therefore it's illegal, and I would agree with them, it's a legal expenditure of hotel tax money to put on those sports that would bring the people to town. Now, we do this already with the Alpine Cowboys through their season.
They're a nonprofit.
Our rules have no distinction between a for-profit and nonprofit at the organization. Now, you can distinguish, I'm just saying, the guidelines don't.
This is athletics and it's all right.
So what's similar, so that is a difference, but what is similar is that we do give them money to put on the games. And they're asking us for money to put on the games. One difference, other than the one Joanna just mentioned, of their structure, is that the Cowboys are also asking us for even more money to advertise those games and bring the people here. And so that's the
Sul Ross
theory.
has the school to support them though, and those people are going to show up for those sporting events to see their kids, regardless of whether she gets this money or not.
That is true. And so that is your question. So just basically suggesting not a strategic expense to bring more people in. Be underwriting something that one would hope the university could handle already, that we know. We could make the calculation similar to the Family Crisis Center, that we want a healthy university, et cetera, et cetera. If we had tons and tons of money, maybe that would be the decision.
Okay, so what's the difference between the concert and this thing?
The concert is an event that is bringing people to town to see music. So we're helping them to advertise.
Or the
We're
athletics?
helping, yeah, so we're giving, yeah, if they're raising money for athletics.
Right.
The concert,
Hers
This
is just
is
a blanket request.
just
For athletics
asking
to have this money.
$50,000 just to put on games. Rather than advertising.
So what is she gonna put this money on?
Well, it's, they're
Mention
different.
umpires.
Oh,
This
different
is like the foundation that
referees.
supports.
Oh,
if
I
that's their
see.
event.
Okay.
This is the actual athletic department.
Okay.
Saying, you want money.
Okay.
So,
I've said my piece. on it.
Yes.
I just don't
And-
agree with it.
and this is why that scored so particularly low. This question, is it strategic? I will give the benefit of the doubt that the games do bring people. Will this money bring more?
You guys know how many games per year they put on?
Well, it depends on.
Well, they have a
it's all
long
the different
list on that.
sports.
Let me tell
I
you,
saw that.
But
Many.
But they're not well attended.
Even
They're
the
not
team,
well attended.
I was just gonna take count of like
It's
how many
196
team players are
yes.
coming for each event, how many events there are,
196.
times the hotel rooms that they have to rent in total per year. To see if it was like,
The teams are typically don't even stay in Alpine. They stay outside of Alpine.
where?
They stay at Fort Stockton. I know that because I was with a school that came to play them at Mary Hardin Baylor, and they always stayed outside of the area.
between 70 to 80 home athletic events.
Pretty good.
It's a lot.
And there's like, you know,
Only the parents
15.
come.
Yeah, the parents come for it,
and the
and
kids,
the
and they all have
parents,
to
and
stay
then
somewhere.
they're gonna come regardless.
Yeah, but there's still people, there's still heads and beds. And so if you time all those people, all those kids and their parents renting a hotel room 70 times a year.
Which they're gonna
how
do
many
regardless of whether she gets the
people
money or
is
not.
that?
They're gonna come and they're gonna do it regardless of whether she gets the money or not. So
That's
our
right.
idea is to attract new events to the area, which is gonna put heads in beds. This does not attract new events. to
Yes,
the
and
area.
so there are
Yeah,
different,
but they're still putting heads in
they
motel
are,
rooms.
and so
Which they're gonna do anyway.
Well,
there are,
yeah, but they still are,
So
you
what's
know,
the
that's
money
what this is
for
about.
exactly?
That's what this is about.
this is the question.
Well,
This is what we're talking
Well, I
about
did
right
read
now.
it, but it's not clear.
Well, this is what, and how you interpret heads and beds is actually the job of this committee to determine, because the council does not actually say exactly how you should interpret strategy. And so we don't, they haven't said that if we don't give them this money, they're not gonna be able to have as many games, or those games won't be as
You
successful.
just want frosting on the cake.
But that.
These are tax exempt, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes,
For
Um,
the occupancy.
they are tax exempt, good point.
but supporting events that do bring heads to beds is a legitimate strategical choice. You know, and that's a legitimate decision that this committee can make, you know. Now, given that there's all this pressure on the money, you need to make the most strategic decisions you can. And clearly, the last week's group thought this was not a strong strategic choice, but it's true that is a legitimate.
I don't always necessarily agree with the Alpine Cowboys either, so let's just go there.
Well, I
Chris?
certainly agree with the rating, with the performance score. I
Hey,
mean,
Chris,
we cannot not give them any.
Yes, John.
hello?
Yes, John. I was letting Susie
There-
finish, but yeah.
Is there any chance that this $50,000 could be taken as a City of Alpine grant out of the supplemental fees?
I don't know that Rick could speak to whether there is money for that sort of thing, but I'd be really surprised if there's that kind of leeway.
So I think it all depends upon how much money you all end up recommending allocating, what's level from a reserve standpoint. Certainly council has that opportunity, but first council's and look to you for your wisdom and recommendations about where the dollars ought to be spent, and then we'll see what the reserve ends up being. But that's a subsequent decision as opposed to a current decision.
Yeah. Now, one thing that, I mean, Joanne is absolutely right, that nowhere in this application does the athletic department suggest that without these funds, the games can't happen. And so that, it sounds to me like the committee's not feeling like this is a strong
190.
use. I would,
Can we set it to the side for now?
We
and
can.
work through
I
the
would
rest of this
suggest-
And then look and see what.
I would suggest honestly zeroing it out.
I'm good with that.
As basically just not a really good fit for what we're generally trying to accomplish. But then we can come back and say, if you're in a really dire situation, you need to communicate that and maybe talk to council. Because that's where, we've done that in the past, where we've said certain applications are not for this committee. And this sounds maybe like.
Just because they put an application in, everything was there does not
Just
mean
because it's legal doesn't
we
mean.
have to award.
Yeah.
I would encourage that if we say no this year, I can appreciate total rooms for year by athletics is about 1,400, but those are the athletes that are tax exempt. So it's not necessarily funding this portion. So if they come back next year and want a certain amount, I would ask them, you need to do your research and you need to go to the hoteliers and ask how many like all hotels across the board, Airbnbs, whoever can create a code, Sol Ross parent, Sol Ross homecoming, and they should do their research of actually how many heads are coming in for each game. Cause yes, it's whatever you said, 80 something games. They should. You're
They
right,
know how
they
many
should.
students they have playing and they know how many parents.
Well, they
are
may not
attached
know
to
how
that.
many, they know how many parents are attached, but that's not to
May
say
not say they're gonna shut.
out of 70 football
they-
players, 140 parents come.
They should.
So they should. That's what I'm saying. If they do their research for next year, it'll
Mhm.
be a little more prepared. 1,400 means nothing to me as a hotel because that's all tax exempt rooms
Yeah.
anyways. So
So did they even list the budget that Sol Ross gave to them?
No.
no.
Hey, Chris,
Yes.
Kirsten, I'm thinking that what would have made this a stronger application to me is more if they were asking for advertising money that we could be convinced we're somehow bringing in new people. So I'm not even sure it would matter to me if we knew how many people were coming currently, because the point to me would be how many people are we gonna bring in on top of that than what's already happening.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. The only thing they can do is advertise sports, college sports to other towns.
Yeah.
They just advertised to our town better.
I don't even know what they are.
And I'd be
And I
curious,
don't mean that to be mean, but if we could bridge that
Yeah.
between the campus and town and really build up as,
Well, and whenever I advise anybody asking for a grant, I always tell them, you may want money to put on the event, but always ask for at least that much in advertising so the committee knows that you're serious about bringing people to town.
Right.
and I would be curious to know, what is the breakdown under sporting event?
Well, it says,
It's 130,000 sporting event expenses.
Yeah,
So what does that
And
actually
how-
entail
right.
under everything else, equipment, sanitation, utilities, beverage?
Yeah.
Right, they didn't list,
And I
and they didn't
honestly-
list how much Saul Ross
Right.
I actually
Gives them for
would
that.
like to, I think we'll actually remove this sample budget form came like 4 city managers ago.
Okay.
And I think it's so unhelpful because what we really want to see is their budget and
Yeah.
not them dropping numbers into
Yeah.
a spreadsheet that doesn't tell us much. So I might just delete that out. And then they'll just make their own budget. So what are your thoughts? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take this out, and if at any point, anyone can suggest changes to that. Okay, so that was 16, that was our lowest new application.
that was the bill last week too, right?
Hmm?
You guys kind of thought the same way about that, right?
Yes, yeah, that's where it was
Yeah,
scored
it's sort of
16, the
Yeah.
lowest I.
2 no's in a row.
Did you do the runway?
We haven't. Oh, I skipped it, totally skipped it. So yeah, Skeleton's Runway is the next new one. This is a homecoming party. He's looking for $5,500, $2,000 for advertising, $3,500 basically for music.
I feel the same way with Ed as I did about Soul Ross, because those people are gonna come for homecoming and he's right next door to them, and I don't know that he's gonna put heads in beds. By doing that, he might,
Mhm.
but for the most part, they're just gonna walk from the field over to his place and
And that
party.
that will undoubtedly, you're right, that'll be the majority of his visitation. The one thing in its favor to me is he's asking for $2,000 in advertising, which if he uses it well, might bring people being Soul Ross alums who weren't gonna come and actually and bring them to town, or it convince people who a party sounds nice to actually come. So that piece makes it stronger, but you're right. Anybody else have thoughts on that?
I agree with John.
So given that, what specific changes to this potential award do y'all suggest?
Zero it, I'm sorry.
So we have one recommendation just to deny the funding altogether.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're already here. I mean, these people are already here for homecoming, not bringing any.
Well, if he wants to do like
And
some
he's not a monopoly.
advertising for Alpine in general, like why not give him $500 to do that? Like,
I mean,
he's
he
just
did
gonna
ask
drive
for-
up.
Advertise Skeleton and.
He
that's
did
not
ask for
our
digital
deal.
and social media 500.
I think the more views that anything gets, the more people are likely to come to that area.
mhm.
So like if there's a guy here that wants to do a bunch of advertising and he has tons of like social media presence and lots of followers and families. That's a gift.
And well, I
You're
will
already
say,
coming because of other advertisement for homecoming.
Not just for the coming, but just for the views
yeah,
online of seeing Alpine in general.
yeah, and I will say that in agreement with what Evan's saying, that as the person who's responsible for advertising Alpine, I really like having these grants where there's other people advertising in different places to different audiences that I'm not thinking of, or that are not my, core strategy, sorry about that, my core strategy for Alpine. And so I would be very happy to say, give him $500 to advertise that weekend. Do you want to give him anything to put on?
I just think it's a
Party.
slippery slope, because
No,
once you give it
because
to him,
then
they'll
they're
come back
gonna-
next year, and the next year, and the next year. And ask for more and more and more.
It's still advertising. views equal more business,
Yeah.
period.
It's
And
not
any
bits
political
and heads.
campaign and anything you're selling, the more you get your product out there, in this case, it's Alpine, the more likely people are to buy it or to want to come there, because you just have to keep the stuff coming on social media. Like, you always have to see it. It has to be something new. And you're like, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Then you're more likely to come. It might not directly turn into hotels and beds just from skeleton putting an ad out, but it's still views, and views do turn into sales.
Okay, so for the moment, we have 500 for advertising and nothing for rest of the arts.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that is all of the new ones. So how would y'all like to proceed now? Do you want to,
Start back down the list.
You
It's
wanted-
the highest rated, just like we did.
you want to go through the rating
Yeah.
order?
You
Okay.
guys, I missed the Pioneer reunion. Did we go over that?
Yes.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah, and we
I
left
totally
it,
missed that.
we left it alone for now. That was,
Oh, okay.
they asked for $9,000, 3,000 advertising, 6,000 historical.
Right.
So then. Oh, you know what? This is a spreadsheet. I can sort it by performance score.
Oh,
The higher scores that you wanna, award grants to, then the lower ones may or may not get it.
So the highest scoring was Sul Ross Rodeo. They asked for 15,000, no, they asked for 20. Last year we gave them 15. They asked for 20,000 in sporting events. They usually pay the livestock for that. It scored so well. A lot of that is they get it on the Cowboy Channel. They get hundreds of thousands of views.
That's so West Texas.
Yeah,
It's a great event. I'd say give them what we gave them last year, 15.
I vote to not change their request at all.
okay,
If it's
at least for now.
possible.
Okay, so next is Viva Big Ben.
But the year before, didn't they ask for 25?
And we
Viva
gave
or
them
the-
15.
Not last year, but the year
Oh,
before
The
that.
rodeo,
I don't know,
yeah.
I've slept since.
Or is
then. I
it the
don't remember
same?
it.
Has it been the same every time?
that's a great question. I think
No,
they
I
asked,
think it's come down to me. It was more. I
Was
think
it?
she's right. I think it was.
They-
I think it's
they
come
may have
down.
asked for more. I don't think they ever got it. I think they
Right.
got 20 previous years, but
Right.
last year there was so many pressing demands that.
We're training them up on this.
Okay, so for now, we leave Sul Ross College Rodeo alone. Viva Big Ben came in at 96. They asked for 19,000 advertising, 15,000 promotion of the arts, 1,000 transportation because they run a shuttle between the communities. And last year they were asking for 35. Last year they asked for the same and received 30.
Though you could say this is one of those events that returns a lot more than they ask for.
I would agree with that.
Maybe we can leave it 35 for now and then start cutting back on it.
Okay,
If we-
if anyone disagrees, say so. Otherwise, we'll move on to trappings in Texas, which also came in at 96. Looks like the Holland was 100% full, but that is a really good fit for their audience. Yeah. Trapping in Texas are asking for 35,000 only advertising.
It's a lot.
It
is
is
a
the
lot.
most incredible advertising. The museum of the Big Ben and this trapping of Texas. Like, they send them everywhere. It's like very high quality posters and big billboards if they get the money. Like,
They
even
get a
that
lot of
one,
sponsors too, though.
They do.
There's a lot of sponsors.
Yeah, it is a fundraiser for the museum.
I go with the 35.
Okay, at least for now, that's what I'm hearing, so hey, speak up at any time. Our walk is next at 95. And they were asking for 25,000 advertising, 35,000 for promotion of the arts, total of 60. Last year, they received 40.
Is that event staying like pretty steady or is it receiving less
It
people?
looks like it's fallen off quite a bit.
Yeah.
I do.
It's still the
Right,
biggest
they're
thing that
requesting-
Alpine does.
I agree. I'm not saying I would fund them, but
I
I
was
would
just
see
curious.
falling
Yeah,
off.
they have had leadership challenges because they have a staff person or have had, and sometimes they have a real strong staff person, and then they've had a hard time keeping staff and the directors.
But it's still carried.
Gary's not full-time on it. Yeah, and so John Davis is president of the board, he co-founded with Gary. And so I think they're really looking at the board carrying it this year.
I think last year we gave them 40. They asked for 45.
I think we need to give this particular activity everything it needs to be successful because it is the biggest.
It is a
event.
big draw for all the retail.
And yeah, I would say that this is the one that more than any other hits both money sources. You know, we get our hotel tax, we get our visitation and our restaurant and drink taxes and things like that from all the other events. And this is the one that week before Thanksgiving. It's a really retail focus and we get sales tax.
People come in and they'll do a lot of Christmas shopping and kind of get
And
it.
so in that sense, the community's return on investment for Art Walk is higher person by each visitor than the other events.
I would like to propose putting more money in their advertising bucket than the promotion of the arts since we need more people to keep coming to the event and I've noticed a dwindling in the last 3 years.
Just
What do you think?
There's a dwindling, I mean, they're asking for 20,000 more than what they were allotted, so what, I'm like trying to do.
What
the
are they
math
gonna
on-
use it on?
Yeah,
So
what's the
it's
additional,
just-
it looks like she added
and
billboards for an
that's-
additional
that's
5.
the $100 question, because we don't know.
Billboards are traditional for this event though, and always have been.
That's true.
What do you say?
Billboards have been
Billboard.
traditional for this. That's very true. They might have,
They're adding the art card, right?
yeah, and so that is something that arts money is not only for music, they're also bringing the
Right.
art corporation.
maybe they could bring some bigger name bands too. I remember art walks ago where it was like, well, they're here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been trying to work with them too on state grants, Texas Commission on the Arts Grants and
How's the 40,000 last year broken down to them? Was it been more promotion of the arts or more advertising? Do we know that number? Maybe we need
Yes.
to look at that, the way they're allowed to spend it.
hold it up. It's right. Spreadsheet. Tell you.
That might have been part of the issue. My guess is we took a lot of money out of the promotion of the arts because we have so much less to award.
Yeah,
there.
we did.
And they may have needed that.
Let's see. They got 25 in advertising and 20 for promotional arts last
Oh,
year.
so they got 45 last year.
No, wait, that was your question. I apologize.
No, they got 40.
Spreadsheet, final awards. Let's see. Art Walk. Yeah, they got 25 advertising and 15 for music.
So you wonder if the billboards are paid out of which fund, or they
Oh,
can be
it's
paid out of
definitely-
either one,
No, it's definitely out of the advertising.
out of the advertising.
Yeah, every penny that they had on that went to music for the arts.
35,000 for, is that for the music?
It's gonna, I suspect it's also for the art car parade, to bring the art
Oh,
cars. in.
right.
And then like setting up for the event for the stage and renting.
They can use the money for that, but they generally use it all on the bands. But they can't, you know, like that, it's similar to historic and sporting at that point, it's like. You can't, anything that's required to put on the art thing is eligible. but usually it all goes to.
And what is the purpose of gallery night? Is it for scholarships or what's it for?
The mission of the nonprofit is scholarships and supporting art education in general. So they raise money for the art programs in the schools in our tri-county. That's the nonprofit. So they make extra.
Let's leave it at 60 for now and go through the rest of it and
Okay.
cut it afterwards, if we have to.
I say 50, maybe 40, maybe 45 again, I don't know. I don't
Okay.
think the 60.
So we have one thought of 60 and then another one of cutting some. Who else?
I think that I would rather cut advertising than promotion of the arts, since that is like an event where it needs to be good. They need to have like good arts there. Cause advertising doesn't matter if the event sucks. Great, you got us here. Now where's the
what?
party?
Okay, who has a,
I would do 50.
50.
so a total of 50, and where do you want to take it from? Do you want to take 5 from
Take it.
each? Do you want to take only
Yeah.
15 for advertising, or?
Do 5 from each. You think?
I would take 15 from advertising.
Well,
I would leave promotion of
the
arts
billboards, is what's gonna get a lot
Yeah.
of the traffic.
Do you know, what did they do, for, advertising last year? What did they ask for
the same. How much is a billboard these days
They're not cheap.
last year?
I would say, seems like they spend around 4,000 for
for the year?
the several billboards around
Oh,
Midland. and
weird.
so.
That's not bad.
Yeah, take it from advertising.
Last year they asked, well, they got 25,000 of advertising.
They had so many flyers.
They asked for 25 and
Way
they got
too
it
many.
last year.
They asked for 25 and they got it last year.
Yeah, for advertising. They were cut on the music because we do have to cut
Let's
ours.
leave the music then, like she said, and cut the advertising.
Okay, so you want to make that 15?
We'll flip it and see if it helps.
Okay.
Right.
So next is we did the rally, Alpine Cowboys baseball. Would be next, and then finals.
Now, see this. I knew that this was a fact last year
Okay.
and year before last. Sure, it was year before last, because I actually thought they stay at, not out, the visiting teams, all like that, came in and stayed at Alpine City Place. Alpine City Place doesn't pay it in because they're under 19 rooms.
No, they do.
They do?
Yeah, that's not a limitation because Airbnbs have one room, they pay, yeah.
Do they?
If you rent over 14 days a year or something, right? Is that
Something
the
like that.
rule? Can't remember.
That I'm not sure about, but they're open for business year round, yeah, so they.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, all right. Just let that go.
Well, their request is 15,000 advertising, 10,000 historical restoration, that is their part of helping with Coconut Field maintenance, and 15,000 for sporting events. And there's fees and support from the independent league that they're a part of. It goes towards that, it buys baseball and things like that. And so their total request is 40. They asked for 40 last year and they got 21.
Did they guys in money last year?
Let me double check though.
I would love to see them advertise more.
And I see so many people who come to the area and don't even know that we have a
Mhm.
semi-pro baseball team.
Yeah.
They
it's
really
such a
have no
cool
idea.
thing.
And it's a lot of fun, once they get here and they find out, but
And
it's
it's a
just
beautiful
getting them
field.
here. Yeah, it is. It's historical. In fact, it bothers me that they get the money for upkeep and historical renovation. You never see it.
I was looking at this year, so I don't have a good answer because they haven't really finished advertising the season. So they still have money left from this year,
Mhm.
but I'd have to pull up another different file and get to the previous season. And they're just starting.
And they're still doing, are they still doing restoration over there?
Yeah, and that's gonna be going for a long time. They're not the only ones paying for it. That's something that
But this 10,000 they want for field maintenance?
Well, everybody gets to contribute to historical restoration for the field, I believe.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's about 2.5 months is the season.
$10,000?
There's a,
You have to remember that that field is also used by Sol Ross and some of the other.
exactly.
And so you have-
Not during those weeks.
No, exactly. So it's
the rest of the time.
the agreement.
Well, yeah, but during that, they want 10,000 just for those weeks.
Well, it's their agreement with the AISD to have the games there. They ask
Right.
that they,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
that's covering them. And so
You have to maintain it all year long.
exactly, it maintains the field.
So
all year
everybody
long,
puts money in the
and that's
pot to
their-
maintain it all year
essentially
long.
their fee that they pay the AISD for that meeting. So we're helping them nonprofit, not to have to raise.
And they have done a better job of it in the last couple of years. I've noticed a much improved, maintenance schedule on it, I think. I don't know if it looks like it's been under a water shortage, but.
Right.
Right? Have to get big grass. Anyway. If we were gonna
So you're
cut
saying
from
the
there, I would
10,000
cut
stays
from the
in
sporting
historical
event.
restoration?
I'm saying that it's a legitimate expense.
Oh,
and it's
right,
reasonable.
right.
That's all I'm saying.
What did we give them last year in that area? Did you say that already?
I didn't say how we broke it out. I just.
How did we break it down last
It wasn't very much, only
year?
20.
No, we cut them in half last year over what they were requesting.
Well, because we found out they were like getting other money from other places.
Exactly.
And, it was
And
like,
that
we
kind
were
of
gonna-
like,
Okay, we
Oh,
did,
wow.
we gave them
21.
12,000 for advertising, 8,000 for historical restoration, and 1,000 for sporting events. Last year.
I would like to see more advertising from them because like I live here and I don't see any advertising.
Same, I mean, in the
Bill, our
hotels.
money can't advertise to you.
That's right.
But
It has to be
even,
outside.
even a poster, like something. Something.
Still can't use this money for local
Right.
advertising.
Yeah, we don't allow it
outside of the area.
in the Tri-County area, except for Presidio and Terlingua. Like Fort Stockton are close.
Well, I go to all those places.
Well, you do?
Still, I do not see anything about Cowboys baseball anywhere. I travel like this whole region and to Austin and I never hear anything about this amazing field or any of the games or anything like that.
Who does their advertising?
Stuart Ramser with Viva helps them with it. And Joe, Prinko, I mean, he does the design, he produces all the things, because they do posters for their series.
Yeah,
I
they got
didn't
all their
see them
posters and
starting
their
to make
posters look wonderful
Yeah.
around town, but you don't see them outside. the area.
Outside.
What she's talking about.
And the way I allow
That's the
that
sad
is,
part.
if somebody does a print run of posters, if they give me a distribution plan,
Yeah.
then I'll allow them to, prorate and hot tax can pay for the posters that go out.
Right.
I would probably do the same amount as last year, because she said attendance was a record high. Based off of this amount, so I would do the 21.
So that would be 15, 8, and 1 again?
15 in
It was
advertising.
15,000 advertising, that's what, last year the total was 21, it was 15,000 advertising, 8,000 historical restoration, and 1,000 sporting events is what you guys approved for last year.
Data on their advertising.
We had what?
That we had data on their advertising.
Right.
Yeah,
So curious about that. It's
Because
a lot of money.
It's pretty much everything's done online. And it makes me wonder sometimes because, you can watch the games online. If some of this money isn't used to help support that, where if you can't go to the game, you can watch it online. And I kind of wonder if that's not part of it. I don't know that that's a fact, but
I think it's worth seeing because in advertising, 12,000 is in other. But it doesn't, not in digital, it's not in newspaper, it's not in TV.
One thing that we do is, I co-op with them for, we alternate between the Texas Rangers and Houston Astros season programs. And so we do an ad for Coconut Field promoting the historic quality of the field, and we promote the Cowboys season through that Major League Baseball season. We alternate those two markets. That's one thing. It's not a huge part. In fact, we were doing a full page for the last few years, and that was 2,500 for each. Partner was 5,000 that we did that for, but we went to a half page this year because my budget was super tight. And so that was 12 each. So we did that, and I'm looking at the last year, the actual last year. So what did we do? They did design work. We did some posters. We did some newspaper advertising. The travel guide TV, middle of that's a television. We did a chunk of that. And we did that. Major League Baseball program then. Yeah, so they do a chunk of television, but yeah, that goes too. So is that, have you everyone agree that they want to match last year's numbers? Any changes there?
I'd go with that.
That is Big Bend Ranch Rodeo. And at 89.
Alpine, no, that is 82.
They're asking for 20 under sporting event, similar kinds of expenses to the Sul Ross Rodeo. They also asked for 20 last year and got 15.
How was it split last year? Just sport
Just
under,
all
junior
sports,
event.
yeah.
Okay.
They generally fill up the arena for each of their shows. And then they have a decent amount, like several hundred people in the morning. The youth.
I see a lot of families coming through. For that.
Yeah.
A lot of families, which means you can't sleep in the trailer with the horse. You have
Right.
to have a hotel room.
Where are we at on our numbers?
Well. We have cut. 90,000. We still need to cut. $132,000. But. We have cut.
From a hotel perspective, this is a fantastic weekend for us. I see it on Holland that you see all those horse trailers are all getting out to eat. I would do the 20. I think that's an event worth.
I agree with what
investing
you
in.
say.
Excellent, thank you. Then we're moving to, we did the benefit concert, we did Pioneer, so now we're at Alpine Gym and Mineral Show. Where Lisa gets to go home soon.
I'm gonna call it and listen though. I won't be leaving tomorrow.
So I have a question. This
You
is
had a question for Lisa.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And that was, so last year was the first year you got any funds
And
at
would
all
you-
from us, right?
If you're gonna speak, yeah, come to the mic, so.
And you got how much last year?
Let me make sure I give you the right information. 3,500 for advertising and 1,500 for promotion of the arts.
How do you feel like that was spent and it benefited?
It was great. And the target marketing with Chris's expertise was amazing. And now I know we can bring people in. And I'm gonna start advertising this summer with all the rock clubs and different gem and mineral shows sooner than later to really get more people
I mean, it
coming.
drive through down there with.
It was
everybody.
great. Yeah.
And how did the kids event go?
They were great. Brought in families.
It looked like a daycare over in that.
Right. There's lots of
Kids.
activities, but I really want to push the adult stuff. This year, one thing I found that really worked this past year was I had an event calendar for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this year I want to fill in, try to have more premier events, let's say Friday and Sunday, that are adult events. To bring, and I want to tie it with the arts because we have such an art community. Yeah, or even at our event, I want to do more hands-on demonstration stuff that brings people across the state to come see. More lapidarius, that type of work, hands-on though. And then I also want to tie us in downtown more, because I think that's everyone's wondering where to eat, where to shop, other stuff to do. And so I think that circle, because we're a whole weekend event, so keeping people as long as we can, I think is essential. So yeah, I found the money super valuable. This year we're gonna try to get some sponsors and do some more on our end now that we've got through the 2 years now of the event. Now,
Second year you've.
yeah, the first year we took it like kind of last minute. They were shutting the event down, and we just don't want to lose that event. So that's the only reason we're doing it, is to keep the gem show here. If not, we'll lose that. And I think it's important to our community in the whole region. So
Thank you.
yeah.
You're a good speaker.
So the request is for $900 towards the civic center use rental, $5,500 in advertising, $5,500 promotion of the arts, for a total of $11,900.
I say leave it. Agree with that.
It doesn't seem much of a reach for a second year. It seems pretty reasonable.
Now this one, Theater of the Big Ben is next, and it's really sad, but we can't fund it because they didn't give me the event report or the economic impact statement.
Oh, no.
I know, and I may ask the city manager to allow me to revert to the whole hand-holding days, because now everybody else did, but I personally prefer to be able to work back with somebody over a day or two. And there's something like this, it could be sitting on our hard drive and just make it in the PDF. And if I could make one email and rectify that and then get the grant in, I would rather do that than just slam the door and not allow anything. So that's something that I might ask the city manager for next year. But right now,
I'd like to remind you, Chris, that I was on the other end of this 2 years ago and got no consideration whatsoever. Just
work. And we're not giving these guys a consideration now because we don't have any more permission to do so than we did with you last year. But I'm just saying, I don't like this. I didn't like it when it happened to you, and I don't like it right now, because I think our purpose is to support events.
amen.
And so if I can, like I said, if I can with an email or two, given 48 hours after the deadline to fill in gaps, then I would rather do that. But we can't right now, and I don't look forward to talking to Margie about it.
So we're cutting that out?
Yeah, we have to. But that makes your job a little bit easier. So next on scoring is Guitar in the Big Ben. Came in at 78. And they are requesting 10, 5 for advertising, 5 for promotion of the arts.
What do you guys know about that event?
According to what I saw, they had a good showing, right?
Yeah,
In that one?
they bring literally world-class classical guitars to the region. They do two, I think they're actually do 3 shows. They ask us to support the Alpine piece of it, but they do a Marfa appearance. They do one at the Museum of the Big Ben. The day in Alpine is they do a master class with the students, with the guitar students, where they'll come and play a piece, and the visiting artist will talk to them about it. I find them fascinating, but I play guitar, not classical guitar, so you don't have to. Anyway, and then they've done like a luthier program where the guitar builder will talk about these super high-end classical guitars. Then they have the performance, and the museum was standing room. They had to drag one or two.
I mean, and that's what we are about in Alpine to me,
Yeah.
is the arts and the music and to getting people. But how many of those people do we know came from outside of the area to stay in hotel? Do we have that?
Right, and I'm thinking it was looked like about 40% from the sample set. be collected as it goes.
It seems like for this particular event that the advertising wouldn't need to be as high amount as they're asking for because most of it could be done on social media.
Comment if you would.
Sorry, John?
Comment if you would. One
Yeah.
of the prerequisites for hotel occupancy tax is to encourage new events. And while this is the second year, it's still a new event. And I think from the comments I just heard, they did a great job. Did they bring enough people in from outside? We don't have any way of tracking it that I know of yet, except what Chris gets in feedback. But still, I think it's important that we promote this and others as new events. Thank you.
I think they did, with what did we give them last year, did you say? Eight. And they utilized it and they brought in top names and they're building on that. And that's what I see happening is that they have utilized the money. They are bringing people into the area. We don't have a number on that yet, but we know they're doing that and that they're going to continue going in that direction. I just see it as a positive.
And I think that paying for these actual musicians is higher priority than like,
That's where most of their money goes. I think.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
professionals.
That's what I was saying, like if 5,000 is a lot for advertising, they're not gonna do a billboard. And
Yeah.
magazine, that's not their niche market.
Yeah, and I don't at all disagree with that. And they can put on a great event with slightly less advertising money. That's true. But yeah, the arts piece is more important to make it happen for sure.
Doing 7,500, 25 and 5.
What you guys want to see?
Let's try it out. See, that gives them half of their advertising and all of the promotion.
Next is Lone Star Cowboy Poetry Gathering. Came in 78. They are asking for I don't know, 68,400. They're asking for. They asked for 7,400 last year. 400 in Civic Center, 45,000 advertising, 20,000 promotion of the arts, 3,000 transportation.
What happened last year?
What happened last year is two things. One, the military was using some of our rooms. They really panicked at that prospect because they're always scrambling to find places for people. They were approached by a couple from Bastrop after last year's event. Please do one in Bastrop. They do want to expand, and part of the reason is they felt like they need to have a presence in larger markets to attract the bigger sponsors because they want to hit the national sponsors. So they saw this is their path to do it. The only weekend that the Bastrop venue could host the event was the same weekend as Alpine. And so they had not a little more than half of the ticket sales in Alpine this year as they did last. I have not heard from them as to what's their plan. See, I don't know. Were Alpine's remaining rooms full? The Holland was 80%.
Yeah,
Or
that's Holland and Maverick.
What is I'm sorry if I'm playing catch up because I wasn't here. What is our military? Are they still in our hotels?
And to our knowledge, they're gonna be here for 4 years.
And then the other thing that I heard from people that weekend, I talked to some disgruntled people that weekend, which blew my mind, was places to eat. And I know they did catering, but they were not happy with it.
There's in all our restaurants.
Yeah. They didn't like the catering or
Yeah, they thought that the choices with the catering were extremely limited and the places to eat in Alpine were extremely limited. So I'm worried about the event, I guess.
I'm
Although
worried
if-
about our restaurant
If
selection.
Boardwalk can make it, they can make it. They just gotta sell it the right, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good questions. I'm assuming they're gonna pick a different weekend.
You think that would make a difference?
I think it would. I think okay, particularly a different season. You know, if they did one in Bastrop in the summer and they kept the original one in Alpine at the end of February, people who love cowboy poetry can go to both, and some of them will. You know, we're not forcing people to choose at this moment, am I gonna go to Alpine or am I gonna go to Bastrop? And that's what happened this year.
And as you said, before they go to Bastrop, they have a good experience. They're gonna wanna come to this as well.
Let's hope so. Yeah,
hope so.
let's
Yeah.
give them the chance, but I haven't had a chance to talk to them directly since.
I wish them luck, because I know rarely have people bend my ear the way that they were bent that weekend.
The attendance in general for that event has been on the increase, hasn't it?
Yes, this group particularly, so the committee, when this group took over, the committee who had retired because they felt like the art form and its audience was aging with them and was gonna die with them and they retired. And so they stopped. And then the new group came and said, it doesn't have to be that way. We don't want it to end.
Yeah, there's like a revival.
And yes, so they brought in more new people and more young people year over year over year. They absolutely have.
Yeah.
This is the first drop, and it's because I personally think they overcorrected out of fear of the loss of hotel rooms, but. You know, I can't, that's my belief, it's not.
Carry over to St. Ross.
I mean, and also like the other towns are close by.
Yeah.
Other hotels. Not that we want.
Exactly right. So, which leaves us at 400 for Civic Center use makes sense. They host 2 dinners, which are gonna be all the more important. Hopefully the people will like the food, but we're having restaurant issues. 45,000 in advertising, the highest, other than the museum's year-round request. And 20 for, Push in the arts. Now, last year they asked for 70,400 and you all gave them 50.
And how did we break that down?
Chris, what do you think about their advertising?
I think that it's a combination of things. I think they try new and different things. They've been doing more sponsorships. They've been doing like radio podcast sponsorships within the crowd. They also sponsored like a awards program at another gathering. So they've promoted at other events. And they're generally trying new things.
Yeah.
They're good at that. It also seems to me like every once in a while they're coming in at the end going, oh, we're gonna try new things with this budget we have left that we didn't really think about before. So I think that helps too.
Is there any indicators on how much they spend on average per month or so? To see like how much is actually left over at the end of the year
Well,
that they're kind of wasting more or less?
let me see. First, I'll give you the breakdown of last year and then I'll see if I can answer that.
Yeah, just to like shore it up.
So you gave them 35 advertising and 15 for arts last year. And then let's see. They often give me like a big chunk of reimbursement at once. So my spreadsheet records are not going to be as granular as you probably want. Yeah, and I'm looking at this year again. They haven't given me anything yet for this year's advertising.
Even a broad stroke idea. Since we still have like 90 grand to cut, don't we? Or
Yeah.
70 or something.
So they spent 30,000. They did, well, they paid, we allow up to 15% of the advertising spend to be on what I call production, which is design, photography, videography, web design, things like that. So they did pay photographers. They did social media. They did this Texas Country Music Association, was that sponsorship. That was a big chunk.
Yeah, how much did that cost?
That was 10,000.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then they did quite a bit on this Cowboy Crossroads program. That's like 3,000 for that. They also did videography. They have a publicist. So they do a publicity PR campaign. That was 4,000.
This sounds really legit.
Yeah.
I love that they like try new things.
Yeah, they
what
do.
will stick
They do.
best.
Bob Saul is the guy who helps them.
SAUL.
SAUL, yeah, and he is he's pretty hardcore business guy. He strategizes pretty well, I think.
And what did they turn back into? Didn't you say they didn't use it all, right?
No, they did.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that I generally get my records are based on the checks that I request to be cut. And if they give me big stack of receipts all at once, my record just says I reimbursed them this amount and it doesn't break it down the way that I would see.
How many speakers do they actually pay for that event for the promotion of the arts part?
Dozens. Yeah, they have
They give them like 1,000 a piece or something. Pay for room and board and
yeah, it's anywhere from like 1 to 3,000 for each band or person, depending on their,
Yeah.
name recognition.
Did they move it away from Sul Ross campus last year?
No, they have, there was one year where they did some at Spicewood too, but it was always yes and kind of thing. It wasn't, they kept stuff because they were turning people away at Marshall Auditorium. So they tried to not sell out, but to add another show at the same time. So that's how many people
that's
were.
good.
And but this last year was not, that was not the case.
We better make up for it this year.
Yeah, it's the hope. So what are your thoughts? We got 45 and 20 and then 3 for transportation.
I think we take the 45 to at least 30.
That's what you gave last year.
Yeah.
Really?
You gave 30 and 15 last year.
I'd like to keep the promotion of the arts portion large so that they can get good speakers and more of them.
Do you want to keep that at 20 for now?
Yeah.
I mean, we will have to really hack and slash on that one sometime, but we don't have to do it on this first pass. That was Cowboy Poetry, and now we have Far West Comic Con. And that, they are asking for 31, 1,000 Civic Center, 10,000 advertising, 20,000 promotion of the arts, which is mostly gonna be for the actors, dancers, the cosplayers.
I felt bad for them last year.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And it's coming up next month. It'll be late June. We'll see how that goes. They're confident that their audience.
I think having it late June and moving it to that time period is.
Yeah, though I encourage them for January because it's their third month. So that's why Wildlife Weekend was there too. And
Also, lots of them wear this very suit. This
yeah,
winter is quite a good time for that.
for
right?
cosplayers, yeah.
It has never been a super successful in any hotel I've worked. El Paso, Minnesota, like these Comic Cons are hard because they don't want to spend what the market is at for the rooms, so it's hard. Doing discount is fine, but it's not. I mean, we were at 35% from the Star Report pretty consistently from last year. So it
Makes me
wasn't
wonder
busy
if
for
more
the
of them
city as a
didn't
whole.
Come together and get Airbnbs and.
Yeah.
camp
Yeah, they
out.
must like
I think
pitch in
that's
together,
probably
but
what they
the Star
did.
Report showed low from last year.
Okay. Yeah, it was their first year.
Okay.
I do like the idea that it brings in a younger crowd that we don't typically have here so much. And we kind of want to be diverse in that respect. Because it is an artistic community that. What did we get from last year?
15.
I voted to get 5 across the board. Sorry.
They got 7 advertising, 8 promotion of the arts last year.
Do we know what their attendance was last year?
It's around 400.
It was a weekend that it froze though, wasn't it, or something?
Oh, yeah.
That the weather
So
was
this,
terrible.
this
that
January,
weekend.
they postponed it till
Yeah.
this summer. But last January, they had around.
They had, there were people everywhere the first. I remember that. I was kind of shocked.
But the hotel data doesn't correspond with that.
No, were you looking at January of 25?
5.
Okay.
I mean, 400 is actually pretty good for a first year.
Yeah, I am really impressed with these guys in general. For, folks coming over from the comic shop to put on an
They
event.
use
I thought they were handling themselves
They're
really
using
well.
the money to bring in some high-end people too,
Mhm.
that would attract.
Yeah, within their audience. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Like, I don't know
Kinda like-
the shows that these people are voicing cartoon characters for, but their audience.
I would do the same as last year.
It seems like we should encourage them, but at 20,000, it seems like too much.
That is too much.
So Rachel suggested same as last year, 7,000 advertising, 8,000 promotion.
I'd make it 10,000 personally.
Total?
Total or for the
No,
art?
no, 10,000 for advertising. If it was 8 last year, make it 10 this year.
It was 7,000 advertising last year and 8,000 for arts.
There you go. I do 10,000 for arts.
Yeah, I would agree with that because they need the money to bring in the names.
Yeah, similar with the
Yeah.
guitar thing.
And we
Pay
can,
for the
we can leave
performers.
advertising at 7.
I think you could even drop the advertising. I mean, all of their clientele are online.
Yeah, if they did 6,000 in social media, everybody would know about it.
Mm-hmm.
But so what number do you want to do? Was it 6 or
I voted for 5
for 5?
as the low side of the scale.
7,500.
I have 5 and 75. Where else? Similar. 270. Okay, we'll do 7,500 at least for now. And then we'll move to. We did GeoFest. We did Mountain Country. We've got Museum of the Big Bends general promotions, which is year-round promotions, and 3 other events. That being there's a January a midwinter exhibit. There's the summer photo exhibit and a photo weekend that's coming up on this year on the 13th and 14th. That's a day of photo presentations. And then fall is trappings, and there's usually 3 other exhibits and openings that they do, and obviously the year round. Tell people about the museum. So they were requesting, I'm looking at the window.
45.
Yeah, they
Are
were,
they still receiving other grants and advertising money or
They-
being matched by anybody?
they are, well, they get they fundraise for donors. They get some support money, that's mainly for the building from the university. And their actual so their overall budget is way larger than this 45, but that 45 is the vast majority of their connection.
What did they get last year?
I believe they got
45.
45. They asked for 45 and got it last year.
Where are we at on what we need to cut?
We are at 4. We've got 72,950 we still need to cut. So we cut another 50.
May I ask a question real quick?
Of course.
Sort of change the subject a little bit. Was the hotel occupancy way down last year?
No, last year it remained amazingly steady. It was up by like under $1,000 or maybe just barely over, right around $1,000. It was up.
then why is our budget the same this year?
Why is their budget the same as ours is down?
Well, there,
No, why is, why is our budget the same as it was last year, but we have higher?
the fiscal year, the last fiscal year stayed steady to the fiscal year before that. Our year to date through the end of March for this year compared to the same period last year was down 8%. And so our grants budget went down 8%. That was the best proxy we could come up with to try and track, because we were expecting we're expecting lower collections. April, the numbers that I've seen from our visitor dashboard were down across the board, spend and visits and hotel nights. And that's just macroeconomic. Plus the lack of some of our rooms for off the rolls for the military. Though that was the case last fiscal year, and we still
Made up for it.
we made up for it, I think, in increased room rates. I'm thinking, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was probably some of it anecdotally was those calculations, you know, the surgeries, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So we had fewer people, but more dollar per room. So anyway, does that answer your question, John? I just talked a lot.
Yeah, yes, sir. I appreciate it, and I apologize for the interruption.
So any other thoughts about museum? We had one suggestion. You said 30,
35, I think.
or 35.
Are we going straight down to trappings of Texas?
We already looked at them,
We did.
and for now we left them alone.
Okay, okay.
Because that is one of their events.
Yeah.
Left them alone, so why don't we take it from the other side a little bit?
That is only one event, and so you might or might not consider them together if you're gonna cut. That might make it easier for them to be flexible with how they're gonna promote.
Yeah, that's what we did last year, since we took it to 20.
Yeah, and that was with that thing that was only the one event.
We'll get trappings 20 last year. Then why don't we take the museum to 35 and trappings to maybe 25?
Sound okay to everyone?
That sounds pretty good all the way up here in Portland, Oregon.
35 and 25 for those, and then scoring. There's the museum. Okay, July 4th celebration. Kirsten, we need to talk about the music. I'm gonna email you about that for this. That's this year though.
Do you want me to? Yeah, I can say something. Is this the time?
Well, Lisa did, so you certainly
Go
may.
for it.
Are we talking about, I'm sorry, are we talking about music?
We're talking about, I'm now looking for, there we go, community projects. The request is 1,900 for advertising, 2,500, most of the arts, total of 4,400. Anything you want to mention, Kirsten?
Yeah, the only thing that I want to say two things. One about the promotion of the arts. Last year, we ended up cutting enough into that I'm having trouble this year with the bands. So I would love to not cut as deep as we did last year, if we have to take some money away. And then with the advertising, I think that we're actually asking for less this year, and we're doing a couple of more things, and we're still trying to find that balance of what the right amount is to ask for. But this year we're going to do all the advertising we did last year, plus one of our committee members suggested, and we're going to try this year, the Sunday papers in El Paso and Odessa. So we all thought, that sounds, yeah, I was like, oh, that never occurred to me to do like the Sunday edition. I didn't know that people were reading those or whatever. So we're going to try that this year. So anyway, last year I just sort of I didn't, I don't know. I let people cut and cut because I think I feel bad being on the committee, not cutting my own event. But this year I would love to try and stick up for it a little bit more, just because we did get cut a little bit too much last year to do what we need to do.
And this is the 250th year celebration.
This
With
funding is
July
actually for the
19th.
251st year, which no one cares.
Oh,
I'm just
that's
kidding.
right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So this is for the event that we haven't done yet. It's hard to.
Yeah, it gets confusing, but. So yeah, this one is for next year. This small,
What did we award? What did we give for last year?
last year was 4,000, this year's 4,400 is the request. And they are looking to do basically an entire afternoon of music for $2,500.
I'm vote for leaving it for now.
Yeah, same, yes.
Okay. Next, it's the Big Bend Bluegrass Festival.
How is that going?
It's holding steady. So it's basically it's a different audience than any other of our events is reaching. It's a passionate one, but it's a pretty small one. The folks who come, they do come and they stick around a little while before and after they travel around. There's room nights coming in for it, but it's not a packed house.
Have they changed their marketing or advertising strategy at all that you can see? Are they just doing the same thing every year and getting the same results?
Yes. They are they're doing what I would do, which is really leaning into the bluegrass audience and making sure that those festival goers know that it's happening, and we'll put it on their schedule to visit.
Like their social media?
And publications. They do social media. They also there's 2 or 3 publications that have print, web, and email and newsletter distribution that they work with, and that's their primary focus. Now, could they strategically branch out and try and open people's ears to bluegrass who haven't visited? That they could maybe try to build the audience that way. And what would that take? A significantly greater investment? Maybe, I don't know.
I just see them branch into the community.
Mm-hmm.
I love what the gem show is doing this to try to get into the community. Thanks to leadership Big Ben for kind of grabbing a hold of them.
Yeah, if it was October is such a toss up with weather, because we've been really encouraging her to go to the courthouse or something like that. And make it outdoors, because it would be such a great experience here in bluegrass on the lawn, but you never know with October what it's going to be. It's going to be great, or 1 in 3 times
Weird that we should we could get bluegrass and cowboy poetry to partner. Same time.
They're
Well-
kind of different, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Like
Are
a
they
lot
really that
different.
different?
Bluegrass?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Would it
It's
sound
not like
weird?
cowboy.
Cowboy?
Like, you know what I mean?
You might
It's like
have.
North
Oh,
Carolina.
different.
There might be some yodel overlap at times.
Oh,
Could be.
yeah, fusion.
So random
Neo-
thought.
Yeah.
Neo bluegrass cowboy.
Yeah, there's almost like an ideological through line on cowboy poetry that bluegrass does.
Right.
But they're asking for 200 for the civic center, 10,000 advertising, and 12,000 for the music.
We gave them how much last year?
Last year we gave them 19,250, and this year they're asking for 22,200. Then last year they asked for 25,400, about 19.
How many tickets do they sell?
I don't know,
Or
several hundred, but
People. Okay, we don't know how many people came.
I think it's in here.
They spent 5,000 last year.
They said 1,000 last year. That's a lot. I don't know if that's any, but
The attendance. From 3:30s.
You're so good.
Mhm,
3:30.
around there. There's a post, pre-planning, post event.
Okay, 5% more first time attendees. Last year than this year. We actually have-
Yeah, there's 251 people in attendance.
Thank you, 251.
And at least 15 hotel rooms were at
At the Parker. Yeah, they did a discount code at the Parker. 15 of those people.
or hotels during the week that they're coming in general.
You know what?
How is the hotel occupancy during that week in general?
Stay right on.
I didn't look at that one. What was the date?
It's the first weekend in October, third, fourth, third.
Oh, I think occupancy as a whole, well, it's right after Saul Ross's rodeo. I'm pretty sure there's a football game first weekend in October, so it stays steady in the city at least. I would probably run it 70 to 80% occupancy. I would keep it the same. Maybe distribute it a little more towards the arts to get the ones they want.
So for now, leave it alone. From here.
I agree on the arts part.
Yeah, we'll have, sure, we're gonna have some painful moments before the end of the night. And all that stuff, so. Okay, Big Bend Film Commission.
What about, Viva? I mean, Spirits of the West,
We haven't got there yet. I mean, we were going in the order of score.
oh, right.
Make sure you skip it. Yeah, they're actually right after the film commission and scored in order. And so that is 22,000 advertising. We're looking at when I'm doing this chair. We're looking at maintenance and updates to the location scouting website. And then a promotional sponsorship and attendance at Austin Film Festival. And so that
Let me interrupt you, excuse me, but I think the information I have is you can take 2,000 right off the top.
yeah,
Because we're going to, looks like we're going to be able to reuse the banners and pop-up things and all that sort of stuff this year. So you may pinch us a little bit, but that's good. The hotels are up, food are up, everything is up. So
I've been to that thing they do in Austin, and it's incredible how many people walk through, and like all these film creators or whatever, and they're just like looking at places and asking where do we go when we get there, and so many people are interested in films in the Big Bend right now. So I think his event there is like so timely right now, like maybe more than it has been in a long time.
we'll take credit for it.
My only concern is that you can never put a number on how many heads go into bed. You can't, you don't know.
Yeah.
it's high reward in that
Yeah.
respect. You don't, if it happens, you get a lot. If it
I'll tell
doesn't happen,
you,
it's-
like, if somebody decides to do a short film here, or even a few days, that's an incredible amount of people and a crew that has to stay at that hotel for, like, And at the Eldorado Hotel, we hosted a movie crew for 6 months. And they rented out the whole hotel and the one next to us. Like, it's incredible.
And don't forget all the extras.
And one of the things
Yeah,
that,
all of them.
one of the things that we talked about last time was that there might be an argument that this would be better in an economic development fund rather than a strictly hotel fund. It's appropriate for a hotel fund, but you could make the argument that, but right now, we don't have access to that. And
That
so,
would be a good argument, frankly. I think it would take all the what the heck are these guys doing out of the question.
and so I would ask Rick, what do you think the odds are of, didn't you guys, you appropriated some, but where did that stand, those discussions?
So where we're at right now, we do not have an economic development leader or even a process in place. And it frankly, I don't think this is the priority of council, has been focusing on the utility issues.
Yeah,
But that's been our struggle.
so my suggestion would be that we keep the film commission in our purview for now, but we kind of put in,
Needs to be offloaded.
we put in our comments, because we have in the past, like when we decided not to fund something, we requested that council consider it for a fund balance thing or whatever. So we could do that same thing. You could fund it at whatever level, but say, going forward, we recommend that this function be under economic development.
And for what it's worth, instead of 19,000, it should say 21, because that's what we requested last year and then gave back to.
All right, that's it. There's two other columns saying how much requested last year, and I had 19 in both. I have an error there.
Yeah.
So last year they asked for 21, you got 19. This year, verbally requesting 20 instead of 22.
Well, yeah, 22 is the paperwork.
So they're requesting 20.
Well, John said that they could
Do without-
Reuse.
from there and they could do without. So I've got it as 20 right now, but feel free to say anything else that anybody wants to say.
I think 20 is good.
Okay. Moving on to Spirits of the West.
Oh,
They requested 16 for advertising, 17.5 for promotion of the arts, for 33.5 total. Last year they asked for 35 and received 25,000. This year's event did not go great.
No.
Do you have a sense of it being downtown?
It was.
It didn't go great.
And they don't, is this one of them too, that they don't have an actual person
Yeah, it's
present?
this coming year will be a. How did they choose to respond to this year? Because they
This year they only had the two, I don't even think they had wine. They had, a rum and a.
The tequila, rum, gin,
Yeah.
like a vodka. But what happened? What happened?
what happened was, so the board initially decided that they were gonna step back from it. Then their director and I started looking around, well, what are the options? Can we maintain a presence of an event under that name, not lose, completely drop the momentum and see if it can regroup? And so we talked to James Smith, who used to run the Chateau Wright Winery. He was interested, talking about, oh, well, maybe we can do a smaller one at the Ritchie. But James didn't really, he was interested, but then he just stopped responding. So that didn't happen. And then Benjamin Garcia, the Granada, really wanted to do it, but he just didn't pull it together.
No,
And so, yeah,
And I, from when I talked to Ben, like he didn't even have access to social medias
yeah,
because he didn't have the password. There was this
it
whole
was, and so.
So the
it
lack of
delayed a lot of
advertising. Yeah. Yeah, it was very thrown together.
Yes, and so some of that, not to speak ill, but sometimes Benjamin has a lot of irons in the fire.
Mhm.
And I'm intimately familiar with this factor that, you got just in time kind of
Yeah.
delivery often turns out to be late delivery, which I'm guilty of as well. So there's that piece, but there is also the piece that the art walk director left pretty suddenly, halfway through kind of his onboarding, and so he did have a lot of difficulty. And I would presume that most of those things were worked out by the time the event actually happened, but too late to effectively promote it.
Sure.
So that's that.
It makes me wonder, should we even be funding it at all going forward right now? I mean, that sounds horrible, but it's the truth because it's in such transition unless it gets foundation. And somebody who steps up and says, I really want to do this and I know what I'm doing and I'm not going to walk away from it. Why are we going to throw money at it?
One other.
I
Who's running it now? The
Uh,
same people
it's
as
a-
Art Walk?
Yeah, it's an art walk event, and it began because Porter's, who was their biggest sponsor, said, we want to give you more money, but we want you to do another event. And, but since that time, of course, Porter's sold, they don't exist anymore, and Lowe's does not support the
Because it
community the
comes
same way.
from the gallery night people. My expectations are for a Alpine wide kind of event like Art Walk. And
Not in somebody's parking lot.
it's never been, it's always been so just on 6th Street or 5th Street or the courthouse. It's never been,
Citywide.
and so
Needs to be
it's
for
been
that
a
kind of
bit of
money.
a
It needs to be.
disappointment
Yeah.
for that reason.
So that always has been for you.
Yeah.
What are the dates again on that?
It's April, it's,
They just
Last
added.
week, like the
You didn't
24th.
even know.
yeah, it was the last weekend in April,
That's
more
how
or
bad it
less.
was.
People would disappear and I'd know a band was playing. And then there'd be some up and down the street and then the band or
think
whatever was
the
going on.
Location was super unfortunate in such a short amount of time. I will say in 24, I thought it was a lovely event. Unfortunately, I was pregnant, so I didn't get to partake. But thought it was great. I do think you need the right people
Yes.
in place for that. And I actually volunteered myself to Ben, like, this is what I've done. I did Super Bowl in Minnesota. Like, this is the type of stuff that I thrive off of. So you need the right person in place to do it. The courthouse is like prime location. And I think if you talk to people ahead of time, like, I don't know if you would ever consider putting yourself in the courthouse and directing them to Holland. I do know for 2024 for hotel, the 15th, between the 13th and 15th is when the military deployed to here. So that was just a couple weeks later. I had to walk so many guests to host military. So I was calling Airbnbs, I was calling other hotels. So it was naturally a pretty good weekend for hotel occupancy. So that part, obviously, I'm in favor of. I think if it's in the more of the downtown area and put together more structured and ahead of time, it could be successful for the city and for heads and beds.
Well, that's up in the air right now. We have someone to do that.
Correct.
So why are we gonna try to fund something that we know we don't have someone to?
Well, my recommendation, to the degree that I have one, which is very limited, would be that if we want them to have a chance to regroup, this is money that would allow that to be a possibility.
Say, let them regroup and come back and apply for the grant again.
Well, wouldn't it?
But it's dying anyway. And then we're
Not
gonna give them,
guaranteed.
we're gonna
So
put money to
the-
the side.
This is, it
Well,
would
there's
be,
there's a dissenting opinion, like one person says they loved it, one person says the over. So it's like neutralize those opinions.
so I would suggest that if you say nothing at all, then it's dead. If you say give it one more year of chance, and if it doesn't regroup, it's nothing, then
And if they don't use the
I
funds,
say that.
they don't go anywhere, right?
That's what I was gonna ask.
you know
Like,
what?
if they don't use the funds that we allocate,
If they don't spend them, then
Then that
we
doesn't
still
go
have-
anywhere.
yeah.
But it takes it away from others
That's true.
here.
That's true. It is a prioritization process.
So
It
we
might
have-
be
And
smart.
that's the whole reason for prioritizing it.
It might be smart for that event to get less money for promotion and kind of scale back a little bit without dying. And so 20,000 for promotion seems a little high, a lot of turbo to put behind something that's broken. I would be more
Fine.
comfortable giving money toward, like, less money, so that they can think about what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yes,
and be
exactly,
intentional
yeah.
about.
Okay, so right now, this request is 16 for advertising and 17,500 for art. So what we,
Would 10,000 overall be a reasonable figure for somebody trying to sort their event out?
Give them 5 and 5.
Here's my question, for the 25 that was awarded, that was for 2026 this year?
Yes.
Was all of that used in that event?
The advertising was not for the reasons that, well, for 2 reasons. So was he having a hard time getting into the stuff, but the departing director gave him the wrong numbers, and they had 9 for arts and 16 for advertising, and he told them that they had 9 for advertising and 16 for arts, so he had a very difficult time.
So where is that, where are those funds?
Right now, they're unspent,
But he
and
can't use them anymore, like they.
that's, no, he can't, what I generally suggest is, if they do a good save the date campaign with that. It's quite early to have to be advertising in the fall to get the word out about a spring event, because that's the fiscal year. But I also generally tell them, if they don't, my advertising budget is really tight this year for several different reasons, and so if they didn't spend it.
Do
I
we
would
know
advertise.
what wasn't spent?
It was about,
Can we think about that number when we make this decision and say like,
Well,
you
they
have
got
to put-
16, give them 10, that gives
Yeah,
them 26.
so then you
boom.
put the.
And they're gonna have to work it.
And then come back.
Yeah.
Cause if you didn't spend any or minimal in advertising, I didn't see anything this year for it.
right, they spent about 6,000 in
Off of the
advertising.
25 that they got.
Out of the 16 that they were awarded, they
On
spent
advertising.
9,000 on the music, and then they got 6,000 in ads, of which they
Mostly
spent,
stage.
which they spent
Yeah.
6. They didn't pay for the stage out of that.
So total, what did they spend out of the 25? Sorry,
They spent, well, 9 plus 650. Yes.
okay. Yeah, so take that out of what they were. That's what I would do.
Want to give it back to them if they didn't spend it.
Yeah, just use what you
But
didn't.
they're gonna, they can use it for this.
They can use it within the fiscal year. That's the thing. We can't roll anything.
When does
forward.
that end?
Well, they can do like, postcard.
September 30th. Yeah,
They can, they can.
They
work
can do
on
a sample.
advertising, like he said, for save the day, pay for it now, and then. So
So
then push it
to
out later.
confirm, they have 10 grand still to use before September.
Yeah.
I say don't give them anything. They have 10 grand and then if they're
Only for
serious.
advertising.
Only for advertising.
Oh, I would just give them promotion then.
Yeah.
Promotion of the arts.
Same.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Now, that means they don't have anything to actually spend within the months leading up to their event.
But they need
But
to-
you
they
can
use the
spend
money
now
now.
and schedule ads to go out at a certain
Just give them
time.
the
You actually
17,000 for the promotion
Because
of the art.
the way that municipal finances work, the expenses here are intended to happen in that.
What I mean, like, let's say somebody went to like a PR campaign factory or whatever, and they're like, hey, we wanna do a year spread, but we're gonna pay for it all now. And that company just like releases those ads
Later,
on a calendar.
Yeah.
But it's already paid for.
they pay for it in advance and then it's.
If the ads don't actually, they'd have to begin. Sometimes I can cheat that, where it's like, if you start a run of ads and they start in September, then we can keep.
They
paying
could
for the
do
rest
that
of
then.
it. Yeah,
Ben is not stupid. He knows what he's doing. He's a smart technologically
That's
savvy
true.
guy. And I think
just-
that he's fully capable of doing that. I think most people would do that anyways.
But
Why,
it's
why
not
would you
Ben's
create a
event,
new
is it?
ad?
not
We're
necessarily,
assuming
that's a
he's
question
gonna-
mark.
That's the part, we don't know.
If
If
the board, if he works well and reports well to the board, then they may allow him to keep doing it, but we don't know.
That's a good opportunity for him. Take on that event.
Give them
But
5
he
and
has-
5 and let them spend what they've already got and cut the rest of it. That gives him something to work with. He's already got something to work with, and I don't see any reason to give them that kind of money when they haven't spent the others yet.
Chris, it seems like you don't feel confident that they could secure some sort of advertising campaign that could be released over a year.
I think that's very murky waters from an advertising perspective.
The main thing is that for me to be able to get it past the auditor. It's like, I'm not 100% on me being able to shepherd them through that and make sure that the auditor is gonna be happy that it was spent properly for the fiscal year.
And that's all advertising money that they
That's
have
all
left.
advertising money that they have. So let's presume, though, that they're gonna get some promotional value out of that 10. you know, maybe not the full, like, their full ad budget's worth, but certainly some.
I agree with John. Let's do 5 and 5, give them a chance. If it was up to me, I'd probably cut the whole thing altogether because it's all bet.
Okay, so we have that one suggestion, 5,000 for advertising and 5 for arts. Does that seem right to everyone?
So 10,000 total.
Plus they have between 9 and 10 sitting in their lap right now.
That they can use in June, July,
So
in
this
4
gives them
months.
something for next time, and then they have to get creative right now.
I think it's pretty generous,
It is.
considering what happened.
Why give them more money when they haven't spent all they have? And
They
we
have-
don't know who's gonna be running the projects.
It's unfortunate that somebody dropped a ball on that. But I don't think it's the reason to let it die.
So everybody in agreement, 5 and 5?
You know, there's also the fact that of all the people besides Viva Big Bend and maybe a couple of others, is they have an excellent contact list of sponsors. And I think that as they go through this next event, they'll have plenty of time to reach out for it, just as you all suggested, because this is next fiscal year.
Mhm.
So they can say, oh, we didn't get it funded as much as we can. Can we have 5,000, please? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And if Carrie was running their sponsorship, that's absolutely what happened. We'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, it's the way it's supposed to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, agreed. So this last one is gonna require a decision from you guys. Because Wildlife Weekend, I submitted the wrong application and the dates are incorrect. The required attachments are there's 2 sets of required attachments, last year's and this year's. So the back pages are all the accurate stuff for this event, but the dates on the application are wrong. It is in your power to take that, you know, to allow that as an obvious error and consider the application anyway, but you are not required to do so. Joanna has mentioned, has pointed out correctly that in previous years, it hasn't happened in a long time, but probably well, that was not, they didn't put in the required attachments, and I promise you that every required attachment is there, but my PDF got mixed up. And so I would say that I think it was 3 years ago, because it was probably the first year you were on, Joanna. We had one application that had the wrong date on there, and the committee voted not to fund it for that reason. That's not a city policy, and committees, you guys are the deciders.
I'm not gonna send them, let them talk.
Exactly. So,
I have a comment if you care.
of course, Karen, you're on the committee.
So
now.
let's say that we funded this wildlife weekend for November 3rd. And suddenly they called you back and said, oh my gosh, we can't do the event this weekend, but you have to go to September 12th. Well, that could happen to anybody, couldn't it?
It can. Now, if they said, I want money for last year, and you said, this is not last year, you can't have money, that's a legitimate response.
Right, exactly.
So,
And it wasn't their. It
I
wasn't
think we
their
should
error.
hang you.
you previously?
No, it wasn't their error. The information was in the packet. The packet just didn't get passed along.
It's my mistake, because I wrote the application for BRI. Because
Oh, I
I co-founded the event and I run it with them.
Okay.
And so I filled out the application. I have a file with all the.
It
correct
was their
information.
error.
It was my error. Yeah, it's my mistake. And so it's the applicant's error. And so this is a case where the applicant's saying, yes, here's an error. The information that you have in front of you is wrong. How do you want to handle that? Do you want to consider it or do you not?
Well, hold on a second before you bury yourself. You put in a date. It's not like there wasn't a date. You put in a date where the theater of the Big Ben just didn't bother with the attachments.
Oh, that's exactly
That's
right.
different.
I submitted, the information's all right. It's it carries over very well from last year's application, but you're looking at last year's application. So I'm gonna let somebody make a motion one way or the other and see,
Chris, can I ask one more question before we get to that point?
sure.
So the one, I was not on the committee when y'all had this, a similar situation, I guess you say 3 years ago. So at that time, the application and the attachments and everything were from a prior year. And was that a mistake or was that I mean, what was the circumstance there?
I think that that they wrote the wrong date on the application and the committee decided to take a hard line on that. That committee did. I personally, I don't know. I don't know if I was in agreement with that or not. I tend to be a real soft touch, but you don't have to be.
Right.
What does the attachment rules say?
The attachment rules say that that it's required to have that checklist of things, the marketing plan, the budget,
Right.
yes, all of those things are there. It's
And it
just,
says you have to put a date, obviously, on the application, right?
well, what it really, I mean, at minimum, you've got very poor marks for professionalism. Because last year's application was.
Looking at me, Chris.
Well, I know, I did.
I would be glad to make a proposal that we allow this program to go through because it doesn't basically, what's the right word? Damn chemotherapy. What's you've done the correct stuff. The date may be wrong, but you still did a date. So that's my recommendation is that we let it go just like it is.
Okay, so we have a motion.
Yeah, that's a motion. I'm sorry.
No, thank you, John.
To consider it.
You'll second that? Okay, so John moves to allow it. Rachel seconds. Is there any further discussion for a vote? Then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, well, I appreciate your forbearance.
Can we get to the hanging part now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, now you can just zero it all out now that you're considering it. Okay, so this is it's going to be the 4th wildlife weekend. As I mentioned in the scoring
Wait, it's the
event,
third.
I think we have the day, and then we just had the 3rd one. So this upcoming is the 4th. Because yeah, we had one time it was just Wildlife Day, and then we've had 2 wildlife weekends, and so this is the 4th year for the event. I noticed on Rachel's thing the percentage on wildlife is 67%, so it's modest, and that's what I've observed is that we had really good success with media coverage last year. We got the cover of Texas Highways calendar for quarterly events calendar for winter. We got a blurb in AAA magazine in their events calendar and things like that. It didn't really, I mean, it did great to promote Alpine as a place where things happen. The number of people who actually came to the event, like I said, it was modest. We had similar response visitation to the year before. I'm hoping that I can get the attention to BRI. They're planning a conference for August right now. But what I see is the strategy going forward is one, to engage since it's a lot of the people are academic and professional that work with wildlife who come, that we're trying to also reach the general public. It's either really work with the academic departments and try and bring in stuff that will bring other students from other departments in and engage them so that we get those room nights, or come up with some more big party festival type node to it, because it's kind of brainiac at the moment. We're doing the arts thing, so we've got film screenings and things like that, and then a lot of talk about research, which I love and get into, and the people who come do, but it's not it's not a wide audience.
Are you partnered with any of the other like conservation? People and their events or
Tens of them. Yeah, there's quite a few that have.
What do other- people do to get more boots on the ground at their events?
That's a good question. I will talk to them.
What's the animal this year?
We talked about pronghorn. Maybe falcons and pronghorns because they're both fast,
Falcons,
but we'll see, we shall see.
that's the one that we went to. You had falcons before, or was that a different wild?
That was,
At the outdoor theater?
that was something Wendy Little did through Texas Mountain
Oh.
Trail region. That, and, we've looked into maybe bringing those guys. It's like a bird rehab and they bring animals in. We've mostly had, short films about different species, and then we'll have people talk about the research of what we're learning about how those populations are doing, things like that.
How long does someone need to spend time in a town to necessitate like renting a hotel room there? It's like a 5-hour event? Like,
I tend to think is if you got the evening, something going into the evening, then,
So push it into dark?
you
Like,
could-
oh, I better stay
Yeah.
here now.
so like, yeah, well, we did owls this year and so we did the owl walk after the reception, which was super
That's
well.
cool.
Yeah, and then we did.
Especially for dark sky.
And then we did another one for the Dark Sky Celebration, and it sold out like only like a dozen or 18 people can go. Because, you know, it's one guide, but it sold out like in 10 minutes or something.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
And what did we do last year?
Right.
Many ones?
Last year, I did research. Last year, 5,000 was awarded, 6,000 was requested. This year, 6,000 is requested, 4,500 for advertising, 15 for promotion of the parts. Now, there is a Humanities Texas grant that the city council just approved Visit Alpine to be able to apply for. These are $2,500 grants for public arts programming. And so we probably could zero out the arts and I can apply for a Humanities Texas grant for 2,500. I would toss that out because we always need to cut arts.
I think that's reasonable.
So is there any other thoughts about the 4,500 for advertising?
No.
And we're done. We've lived through all of them.
Chris, what are the actual dates for that event now?
It's the last weekend in February.
Oh, cool.
I mean, no, in January, sorry. I'm really pushing like Guitar in the Big Bend is in February, early February, because I'm trying to encourage events to happen before Cowboy Poetry, because that's traditionally when things pick up. So I'm trying to get people to come during that slow time. But right, calendar. It's January 29th through 31st.
I think Alpine should be full of people wearing the falcon and pronghorn costumes.
So cosplay, add that.
I was
add the
just
costume
thinking
like
that, they should put it together.
If nothing else than just the photo op for future years advertising.
All right.
Like build your own cosplay out of one of the Vincent animals, win a contest.
Bring in some people who do rehab. For the
So
animals.
you guys have done a great job so far. There's 26,000 that needs to be cut overall, but we have to cut, let me see how much out of arts. But we have to cut 40,000 out of arts. So. Right now,
Do it tonight.
yeah,
Wait, so 26,000?
26,000 overall is
Oh.
so you're real close to the budget, but the legal cap on arts.
How much how much
Oh, I
did we say for art walk arts?
For art walk arts,
35, we left it, didn't
we
we?
left it at 35. And this is what we wound up doing last year, is kind of going down and across the board and cutting everybody a little bit till you get there, but it's 38,950 is what you need to remove from this column.
That's like
38,900.
10% of the whole thing, right? Can we knock 10% off everybody?
Let's see. See if I can make a formula.
Make a formula.
Yeah.
See what we get.
Is actually 33%, which is a hefty cut. Yeah. 33.09% of the total.
Should we go over what we've already assigned to?
Yeah, so
each
guitar,
one?
I'll just start at the top and work right on the column. Guitar in the big band is at 5,000. Gem and mineral is,
Hold on.
yeah,
For promotion.
yeah, just promotion of the owners.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, guitar in the big band is at 5,000. Chihuahuan Desert Gem and Mineral Club is still at 5,500. Skelton's was zeroed out. The motorcycle, the American Legion is still at 5. Art Walk is at 35. Spirits of the West is at 5. Viva Big Ben's at 15.
I thought we put Art Walk to 25
Did we?
for promotion of the arts.
I didn't do that if we did.
Well, yeah, because we
Advertising.
brought it down to 50, so that would have to come from somewhere.
I think that's a reasonable way to go.
Yeah, we took advertising to 15 and promotion to 25,
Okay,
which is the opposite of what we did last year.
okay, yeah, I had, because it's at 50 right now, which is 15 and 35. So if we take it down to 50 and 25, they're at 40. Is that what we want to do?
Yeah, let's do that.
And that's what we gave them last year. But in opposite categories.
You are correct. Okay, so that gets us to 20, now we have 28 and 5. So continuing, Spirits is at 5, Viva Big Bend at 15.
May I make a comment real quick before we go through this whole thing? So
Yep.
on some of these, can't you move the number over to advertising or historical or something so that it balances? Because we only have to remove 15,000 of the total budget.
You can do that with 13,000 of these dollars can be moved over to advertising and stay within budget.
Okay,
Then,
sorry.
No, that's helpful.
so what if we took like cowboy, don't we have a poetry gathering at 20?
We do.
Take it to 10 and move it over. Can we
Well,
do
they
that?
need
Is
that
what
for
you're
the
saying?
performers, don't they?
Yeah, that's for the performers. Now, last year, I think they got 15 for arts.
Can you just finish that column? What we're doing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, we'll go back up to Viva's at 15, right, it was Comic Con's at 10. Family Crisis Center at 1,500. Big Bend Bluegrass at 12,000. 4th of July, 2,500. GeoFest, 1,200.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
What about, did you already do Pioneer Reunion?
They just have historical money, no arts.
Oh, sorry.
And then Cowboy Poetry is 20,000. And we've got 28,950 that we have to cut.
I missed some of those. Was Bluegrass still at 12?
Yes.
Take that to 12, to 10,000.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Done. So at this point, Art Walk's the highest at 25. Cowboy Poetry's second highest at 20. And then
I think
Viva
we should take some
15.
off of the cowboy poetry.
I think we should take some off of Art Walk.
I don't, because artwork's a success.
Yeah, our walk is one
Yeah.
of our successes, but
It's the biggest,
And we've already taken
I
some
think you
off.
took 10 off already.
How about Viva Big Bend? Do we have a little loose there at all?
Got 15 right now for them,
God, not a lot.
19 for advertising.
Hi, Chris. Can the public talk at all during this? This is Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
You may talk.
Just a question. Can you move any of the funding to somewhere else? Like, let's say the Gem and Mineral, is there anything that could go into the historic instead of promotion of the arts?
Yes.
Just, you know what I mean? Like, can we get creative with some of our groups? Like, you know how to control it, so.
Yeah,
with
absolutely. Do you think you could do that 5,500 in historic?
do you think with what we do, my stuff would qualify? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let's throw a portion of it over there if it works for you, and we can make it work.
Yeah, and it's really if we can make a reasonable connection to the program and if we can make a case for it.
Okay, but
Also,
let's do at least half if that works for your board.
Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, that's helpful.
There
Thank
go.
you.
Gems are pretty historic anyway.
That's what I'm thinking, they're fossils, right?
But they're prehistoric. They're
Yeah, prehistoric.
Oh, dear me.
okay. So now we're at 23,700 that we need to move, and we've got 12,950 that can go into advertising. No, a little less than that. I'm sorry.
How about Viva Big Bend? Can we do that? Move some of it, that 15 over into advertising.
And that 15,000 is that just for the entertainment in Alpine, not
Yes.
Martha?
Yeah.
No.
The findings from last
And
year.
don't forget, we're talking about one of the very big successes of Alpine.
Yes.
Like, move the money around if we have to.
Last year, let's see, we funded Viva Big Bend. Last year, we funded them 19 advertising and 15
Arts.
for music. Is that right? Yes.
This is the same as last year.
Right now, it's the same as last year.
But they weren't awarded 35.
We awarded them
31.
31.
Yeah, it was
How about
19.
if we made it 31 again?
That
I
is
mean, I hate to do that to Stuart, but he's pretty clever.
Yeah, what have we got? Okay, 23. So, but yeah, what did you want to make it?
How much do we have left to cut?
We have to cut 23,700
From the arts.
from the arts column.
Still a lot.
But
I think that the Big Bend American Legion post,
I'm curious what are the arts for the Riders Texas State Rally? What is that 5,000 for?
or that's gonna be for music.
Bands.
Yeah.
For them. I still say we need to, because we haven't cut cowboy poetry at all.
Yeah, that's very true.
You take them at least to 15. What did we give them last year there?
We gave them 15 last year.
15 there again.
I would even.
What do we
Actually,
say
we
about
gave them
the,
18 last year.
what do we say about the Bluegrass Festival?
Put it at
Arts.
10.
Let's see, we took them down to 10 from 12. And we now have 18,700, taking cowboy poetry to 15.
We move Viva Big Bend to some of it to advertising.
We can do some of it. I know that he's got his advertising pretty dialed in, that he doesn't really need advertising money. That's the money that he needs, but that said, we do have to.
Can he not use it for both? I mean, if it's in advertising, can he then hire the band or whatever it is that comes out of promotion?
Well, he can't use advertising money to pay a band.
Okay, all right.
you're gonna do that, why not do that to the art walk? You're gonna get that many.
Good point, good point.
You wanna give them 20 and 20?
I think that, yeah. That take 15 right off, and all we need to do is deal with 3, right?
Well, I just took 5 more off,
Oh,
cause I moved 5 over, which leaves it at 13.70.
Are we doing artwork at 20?
Yeah, 20 and 20 at the moment.
And the Comic-Con,
We have Comic Con at 10 still.
Did we change Beaver Big Bend or no?
Not yet. They're still at 15.
Last year, Comic-Con was just one day. Right? Was that,
Yeah.
so,
Give them 7,500,
yeah, I would bring that down.
yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I would even go to 5.
I agree.
No, that's fine with me.
What did they get last year?
15,
It's still one day, that's fine.
can we cut the second Alpine event, the whiskey tasting or whatever they call it? Say that 3,000 for advertising and 2,000 for promotion.
We don't have to cut any more advertising, do we?
We don't have to cut any more advertising, that's true. Okay, now I'm there.
I'm sorry, well, yes, I'm sorry. She's right.
Okay, Comic Con got 8,000 for promotion last year.
so now we're.
And you can
I-
tell if they used that all?
Hmm?
They used it all?
Well,
I bring it down to 5. I do think we cut with portrait.
Do you think that Spirits of the West, like is that one day? Is it a one day event? Friday?
It's 2 days.
Yeah, it's
supposed to be, yeah, Friday and Saturday, going into Sunday morning, but it wasn't the past.
How much does a band for that event cost for each day?
For spirits?
Depends on the band.
No, I just did that reimbursement. And it was anywhere from 250 to like 2,000, I think. I was thinking.
Did they see? Well, then local musicians.
Yeah, they were mostly, some were visiting. Anthony Ray Wright came.
So he's like 2,000.
He was less than that. He was like 900. He's been paid more at Art Walk.
Like, can we just give them enough promotional money to pay for 2 bands? Of the similar caliber that they've been.
Let me see. I'm almost there. Okay, there we go. Jeez, I take some.
That would bring it like 2,000 for promotion for.
Yeah,
Spirits of the West.
one band was 2,500, one was 2,000, one was 1,500, one was 750, a couple of them were 1,500. 900. So between 900 and 2,500 is your average.
Think how would one who come out. One of our biggest askers. It's not me.
So, yeah, spirits is at 5. which is two of their bigger bands, 2,500. But not, but it's 5 of their smaller bands.
Yeah,
Still have 8,700.
I think we bring cowboy poetry down.
Okay, from 15 to what?
We're moving.
12 even.
Yeah, remove it. Can we reallocate it?
Some of it.
Can that be 12,000 and then move?
We can move, let's see how much can we move? About 5,000 or so can move to advertising.
Cool.
So you want to do 10 and 35?
Sure sounds good to me.
Okay.
well, then let's bring bluegrass down some too,
Yeah. I
All right.
agree with that.
Okay.
To like 8.
that's quite a few. bands.
Okay, so bluegrass to 8. You want to bring them to 11 for advertising then? I think
Yeah.
you can.
If you can make it work.
Cowboy for 35 for advertising.
Yeah, because we've got 1,700 still to cut. Okay. 1950. So let me see. That would be 2,750. Yeah, okay. So now our advertising is solid, but we still need to cut 1,700.
Take it off of Viva.
Yeah,
Right.
take it off. How much is Viva?
Yeah,
They haven't been cut.
Or art.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oof.
Cut it even the art walk. That's one of the big ones, and Viva is too. We haven't cut either one of them.
Well, we cut our one.
Yeah.
So they're at
Okay.
13.3 now, and that should do it.
Or take some from Big Ben,
Yep.
American Legion.
We're exactly there though. So Viva, we've met. Let me make sure that's true. Yeah. We've hit our target, but you can still move things around. That's 13,300 for Viva.
I think you should keep Viva at 15 and take some off the rally.
Okay.
I mean,
That was 1,700. You want to take it?
they're already at 1,700?
No.
That's
That
1,700.
would.
Oh,
they'd
yeah.
be at-
Yeah.
Let me try that. 33.
Yeah, because they only cut them every 3 years and they're gonna have fun either way. No matter
Right,
if they're
and
a
they had-
$5,000 band or
You're right.
$1,000
They hadn't
local.
been cut at all.
Yeah.
And they may be the easiest to get a sponsor too.
You're right. Okay. Well, if you guys are happy with that, then we're there. And so that brings us to our all important action item, which is to approve the recommendation to the Alpine City Council for the fiscal year 2026-2027 hotel occupancy tax grant awards, which are represented by the spreadsheet that we've been working on. So I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
And we have a motion to approve this
Exactly.
recommendation. And we have a second.
I'll second.
2 seconds. Is there any other discussion? Anything anybody wants to say? And seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? And so lastly, board member comments. Kirsten, do you have anything you would like to say before we adjourn?
I really don't. I'm just excited about this slate of events and I wish I could have seen everybody in person.
Don?
Good. Listen, this is our 10th year and we've had some ups, but not many downs. So I think this is terrific and you all did a great job. Really great.
Thank you, John. Rachel, any comments?
No.
Okay, Susie, anything to say?
No,
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be here next year, but it was great serving on the board because I'm not an Airbnb owner anymore, so they'll have to either change me around or whatever.
Joanne, any comment you'd like to
No, I just appreciate everybody being here tonight.
Heidi, anything? Okay, Evan,
No.
any comment?
No, thank you.
All right, well, I want to thank all of you. This is a chunk of time and it's not easy. It's pretty tiring. So thank you so much for helping out the community this
Thank
way.
you for heading it.
Yeah, and let me echo that comment on behalf of council. You all have done really great work. So thanks very much.
Oh, thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
That's nice.
And so I will pronounce this meeting adjourned at 8:24. Thank you.
Woo-hoo! Way to go,
Chris.
everybody. Oh.
Thank you so much.